All right, here we go. Salute to NBA Nation on this free agency Monday. A quiet free agency Monday, man, as nothing is happening at all, man. TP the franchise, my guy, George Esqueda, a.k.a. Into the Knicks Verse in the building. Salute to everybody watching, man. We are live on like 5 different platforms. Salute to everybody watching on Bleacher Report, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, X. This is a Knicks Fan TV, Bleacher Report, and the NBA Report simulcast. Hit the like button, hit the share button, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into it.
It's tumbleweeds out there.
Tumbleweeds out there, man. Quiet. Seemed like Sunday was the more action-packed, and that was just guys going back to their teams, George.
Yeah.
So between a lackluster class and just no movement at 6 o'clock, no, not even a hint of anything. This is interesting, man.
Yeah, this is Chris Hayes was just saying he thinks free agency is dead now, and that's So,
wow,
it's rough for the game. The CBA
is this another CBA casualty here?
Yeah. That second apron, everyone's petrified of being hard capped with the second apron. I mean, look what the Celtics had to do. Have a fire sale, pretty much. You know, 2 of their best players just to be able to get some flexibility. Now, they weren't going to do much next season anyway because of Tatum, but they still could have competed, you know, but it wasn't worth it for them.
Yeah, well, the Celtics are pretty much cooked, right? Celtics are pretty much cooked there. They might lose Kennard. They're trying to figure out what's up at Horford. You have the Knicks situation where they don't want to get into the second apron. They don't want to dip into that taxpayer mid-level exception, which is at $5.7 million for guys like a Kennard or, you know, guys of that caliber of player. So you kind of have to almost wait and see what the market dictates in terms of what guys are going to get.
So, we got to go bargain hunting.
You got to go bargain hunting, man. You got to go to the Dollar Tree right now. And, you know, this is just what it is.
And sometimes you find some good stuff in Dollar Tree, man.
Oh, yeah.
Once in a while.
No question. Yeah, no question.
The one thing the Knicks have going for them, which is really it's been an interesting development in the past week or so, maybe week and a half, where remember the backlash that we got from letting Thibs go, and then like, oh, they didn't have a plan and all that, and Dolan was meddling, or we don't know, but what's happening is people are suddenly realizing with the way everything's shaken out in the East, this is the best gig. This is the number one gig. Now, it's number one gig for coaches, but it's also the best gig for role players. Yeah. That can come in and excel, do their job, and get this team to the NBA Finals. I mean, and you know, everyone knows if you reach glory in New York, you know, it's forever. It's forever.
That is correct. Well, you know, Shams and the rest of the guys are kind of catching up to the KFTV report. But as we reported first, put some respect on our name. See, they're just now catching up, George. You know how the game goes out of politics. So they're just now catching up. But we had reported on Saturday that Mike Brown, Jenkins, will be coming in for a second interview. And Mike Brown is gaining steam right now, man. I can tell you that. You know, I don't know. You know, a lot of people are saying, are they leaving the door open for Jason Kidd? Certainly a possibility still. But, you know, what I can tell you, Mike Brown's gaining steam, man. What do you think?
I have a thought on that.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, not that it's not genuine. I do believe the interest is genuine in Mike Brown and Jenkins, you know, but it does seem like Mike Brown has pulled ahead. Seems like he has a horse-length lead right now. They're rounding the back stretch or whatever, but they might be trying to put a little heat on Kidd right now. Motivate him to get things going on his end to force the Mavericks' hand. Either give him, you know, juice his contract, or let him talk to the Knicks. So that was an interesting. I think that's because we were kind of dormant. I mean, Mike Brown and Jenkins' names have been around for like a month now.
Yeah.
They could have interviewed him 3 weeks ago. You know, I think they were waiting to see how things were going to play out, and they're like, you know what, let's just interview him, and not leak or whatever, but let it be known that they were very impressed with Mike Brown And now that could actually motivate Jason Kidd, because I feel, I mean, Jason, if I was Jason Kidd, I'd want to be the coach of the New York Knicks for next season.
Yeah, no, it's all fair, man. Very interesting to see how this is playing out. You know, for the Knicks, they're taking their time, and yeah, well, look, I think one way or the next, we're gonna get this thing resolved between this week or the next. I mean, we're in free agency.
You think that's soon?
Well, I from what I'm being told, they want to lock something in by summer league at the very least. So
yeah, that's a week and a half.
Yeah, it's starting up in a week and a half. So there it is, man. We are waiting on the Stratocaster to come in. If you guys want to call us up, the NBA Report Discord is open, and so is the KFTV Discord. The KFTV Discord is open, so you guys can reach us on either one of those platforms. For my guys on the Knicks Fan TV side, if you're looking for it, look for it in the video description. Look for the link. Or if you guys are already on the Discord, you know how to find us. But wow, nothing at the moment.
Nothing at the moment. Let me check again here. Wow. One thing about the coaching thing, I got to say, and I'm surprising myself of how I've been flip-flopping. You know, between is it Jenkins? Is it Brown? Maybe Kidd is the right guy. I can't really fully decide. You know, I mean, I have my favorites per se, but in terms of what the Knicks are looking to do, I mean, next year definitely is a must. It's NBA Finals or bust. Whether we win it all, that's a whole other thing. But it's NBA Finals or bust. Who is that guy? And, you know, you look at Brown's situation, how it ended with the Kings, and then you look at Jenkins, how it ended with the Grizzlies, the offensive philosophies of the two guys, and defense is actually incredibly important for this team. That's one of our biggest issues was defense, though it did improve as got towards the end of the well, actually in the playoffs is really when it kicked up a bit. I don't know, man. I still, but one thing I'll say about when they were interviewing Thibs 5 years ago, you know, Thibs was damaged goods back then too. You know, he was coming off a very odd ending with the Timberwolves, which kind of was reminiscent of Mike Brown and Jenkins kind of situation. Not exactly the same, but just that it just soured. It ended oddly. And yet he was able to totally rehabilitate himself with the Knicks. You know, he got us to the playoffs several years. You know, he was the right coach for that moment. Now we're looking for the right coach for this moment. And maybe it is Mike Brown. Maybe I mean, he's been to the finals. What he did with the Kings, was it last season? They had the number one offense?
Well, I think it was his first year with the Kings was the most successful. First year. Yeah.
I mean, that's really impressive. So, I mean, if we can improve our defense some, but really, really make our offense soar, this will be a really tough team.
All right, hang on. Let's make sure that we are accurate on the news here. Let's just make sure that we are accurate on the news. Jaren Jackson Jr. is getting his deal. We're seeing a Clarkson deal being floated around here. What is the deal here? Let's see. Hang on. What do we? Hang on.
$240 for 5 years for Jaren Jackson Jr.
$240 for 5 years.
Max extension.
Yeah.
But he could have gotten
$240 for 5 years for Jaren Jackson Jr. So Knicks fans, you can kiss that dream goodbye. So Jaren Jackson Jr. is the first domino off the board, man. Let me get to a call. Let me bring hold on, hang on. Let me bring Way Too Mellow on the Knicks Fan TV Discord. Way Too Mellow, are you there?
CP.
Yes.
What's going on? My Knicks versus boy. I'm sorry, I don't know your name.
George.
I just came here because, you know, I see all the names popping up now with the free agency.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you know, if there's any truth to the Dante being shopped?
I didn't hear it. Yeah, I
just saw one post about it, so it might be cap.
Yeah, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I haven't heard that at all.
Yeah.
Would that be something? Would you think moving Dante to the starting lineup and putting Josh Hart back on the bench?
They have no way of getting Dante legitimately. That's the thing.
Man, I'm sorry. I just want Dante back
I
so
know.
bad.
Hey, we all do.
I wish they could just do anything to bring him back, But
Yeah.
I think Jordan Clarkson, Russell Westbrook, and Al Horford is the move. I think that's best case scenario for us. Maybe Dennis Schroeder instead of Russ.
Okay.
But I wanted to know about the Dante thing when I came in here to ask. I know you'd be on the inside of these things, so y'all have a good one.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Way too
All right.
mellow
Have a good one,
on the
y'all.
Discord.
Yeah.
All right, so way too mellow he's looking for Dante DiVincenzo on for the Knicks, but no, that I didn't hear that at all. Not to say that they have no shot at getting him, but it'd be very difficult. Number one, you need Minnesota to want to trade him. He finished the year well for them, so I wouldn't necessarily I wouldn't bank on that whatsoever. I mean,
not at all. There's no chance of letting him go.
For sure. George, just weigh in on the Triple J thing real quick. I got to step away for 1 second. Just weigh in on the Triple J deal with the Memphis Grizzlies.
Well, I mean, he got the deal he wanted. It was negotiated by the CAA guys, Austin Brown and his agent, Max Sedman, negotiated the new agreement with the Grizzlies. I mean, the Grizzlies would be fools to not have done everything they can to keep this guy. He's a special talent. We've all heard before. I mean, actually, it's my opinion as well. He would be the perfect number five pairing next to Karl-Anthony Towns. He was Defensive Player of the Year. He can shoot the three dependably. He gives you excellent rim protection, and he's just a live body, And I love his attitude. He would have been fabulous. So the Grizzlies were smart in holding on to him, and I believe even if they wouldn't even be able to trade him, right, for at least till December, right?
Who's that, Triple J?
Let's say this was part of, we got to hold on to him because we need to hold on to him. And there's no deals presenting themselves at the moment. But let's say we go into the season and Giannis is still with the Bucks, and things didn't really shake out right, and the Knicks are getting off to a good start, and maybe he forces a deal at that point, as the season has already begun. So in this case, it's a bummer. It's a bummer that Knicks didn't have the flexibility to make a deal for Triple J, because Leon loves this kid. In fact, he was the very first name ever leaked when Leon took over the front office.
Yeah. Now we're seeing Santi Aldama gets the bag. 3 years, $52 million for Santi Aldama. That was always rumored that he was going to go back to Memphis. CAA client, Knicks fan. So another CAA guy is off the board, headed back to Memphis. 3 years, $52.5 million for Santi Aldama. I like him.
Player. I think that's a good deal.
Yeah, I like him. That is what, 14? No, but 14 a year.
Yeah.
No. No, I'm bugging. That's about 18.
18. That's about the right price. 18 for a guy like that. Right here, we're seeing the Kings are trying to sign Russell Westbrook and Dennis Schroeder.
Okay. All right. So Kings trying to get Brody and Schroeder in the building. Okay. Jaren Jackson Jr., $240 million max deal. I mean, he's interesting, man. Like, look, he's a good player. He was an all-star last year. He doesn't rebound the ball enough for me, man. He's not as rugged. Good offensive player, good shot blocker. Yeah, he doesn't get, I don't know. Grizzly fans, you guys got to let us know what you guys think about this deal. I like Triple J. I don't love Triple J, if that makes sense.
According to this, he was the only player to record 1,500 points and get 100 blocks last season.
Okay.
So he gives you the rim protection, but you're right, he's not that great a rebounder. But we have guys like Hart and Cat who are excellent rebounders. Mitch, obviously we would have lost Mitch if we had pulled a trade like that.
For sure. How about the Russell Westbrook rumors? Russell Westbrook, you just mentioned that the Kings looking at him, but so are the Knicks. What do you think about Brody for the Knicks?
Brody for the Knicks. He's interesting. I thought he did better at Denver than I expected him to do last season. The one problem was that he faded in the playoffs. He just his three. Remember, he was hitting that corner three every once in a while. And stuff. It was at least a decent percentage for him. The good thing about him is he's a playmaker on his own. You know, he can take the pressure off of Cat and Brunson when he's on the floor. But maybe the age is starting to get to him. You know, he's one of those guards that it was all about speed and athleticism when he was young. At some point, you know, there's only so much fuel in the tank for guys like that. And, you know, maybe the long season just took it out of him towards the end because he really didn't do much in the playoffs. Maybe one game. He had a decent game for Denver.
Yeah.
And Denver took OKC to game 7.
Right.
So, you know, if he had been able to be a little more dependable, you know, who knows?
It's interesting, man. Like, you know, I haven't really been the biggest Brody guy in a long time, man. In a long time, man. Like, I really haven't. You know, it's a tricky fit, especially off the Knicks bench when you factor in Josh Hart. And look, he is a veteran. He does bring toughness. He will scrap. He still has his speed, a little athleticism.
He's got the dog in him.
He has the dog. But, I mean, you would have to be very, very selective in how you're utilizing him and Josh Hart off the bench. I mean, you almost can't play those two guys together.
You
almost can't play those two guys together, man. You know what I mean?
That would be a horrific backcourt if we played those two guys together.
Yeah.
I mean, defensively, you know, obviously they hold their own. Though Josh's defense did drop off.
It did. Hart's defense broke off quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
Now, it could have been the knee. You know, it could have been some of that. I hope he rebounds. He has a better season next year defensively, because that really did hurt us a lot of times.
Yeah. 13 points per game, 6 assists, 4 rebounds for Brody, 44% from the field. What did he do from 3 last year with Denver? He did 32% from the stripe from 3 on almost 4 attempts. Free throws, woeful. You know, so I'm like, you know, where's he really going to help us here? Tough. But it's like when you're dealing with vet minimums.
I mean, that's what I mean. If he wants to take, let's say he's like, you know what? Knicks got the best chance to get into the NBA Finals. I'd like to get there, you know, before I retire. Yeah. Maybe he takes the vet minimum.
Yeah.
And in that case, you know, he's like, you know, a cheaper PJ Tucker out there who can actually get out on the floor and play, because PJ didn't really play for us much during the regular season.
Right.
And, you know, he could probably win you a game or two over the course of a whole season.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, look, on the bright side here, he is a veteran. He played 75 games last year. He's been fairly durable last couple of years. He could give you some veteran leadership off the bench and a guy you can go to, you can trust. But it's just that the shooting numbers are a bit woeful. And again, to mix it with Hart, you would really have to make sure that you have the right rotations in there with a Westbrook to really make it work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to have the right items.
The guy I'm intrigued with is Luke Kennard.
Yeah.
That's the guy I'm really intrigued with. Jordan Clarkson, please no. Please no.
You're not a Clarkson guy. You're not a Clarkson guy.
I kind of felt about him the way you always felt about Brody.
Okay.
He just defensively, he's a major liability. I know last season he had a decent season from the 3-point line. What did he shot? Like 36%, I think. Yeah. For him, it was decent. He's a career 33% shooter. He's even shot under 30% some seasons. You know, and he's not a great finisher at the rim anymore. Not that he ever was great at it, but he could get there and pick up fouls. I just don't see what he brings to the team that we need. Yeah.
Well, I would say this with Clarkson, even over Westbrook to a certain extent. Like, I would hope that you bring in a Clarkson because the Knicks do need shot creating, right? We can agree on that. They desperately need
100%.
Guys that can go out there and create their own shot. Now, is he a Chuck? Absolutely. It'll make you pull your hair out. But the Knicks, again, at the vet minimum, it's hard to be very selective here. So the only hope is that whether it's a Jenkins or Brown, right now it's looking like Brown, they get the best out of him. The change of scenery from leaving Utah, the city, and leaving Utah, the team. You come to a winning environment. You come to New York. He gets on a Fashion Avenue thing. You know, he's a very fashionable guy. Maybe he's a bit happier. And he just becomes a more efficient shot creator there off the bench. He still needs some firepower off the bench.
Well, that's what he'd have to come in and understand he's got to tighten up his game. You know, he can't just be going out there chucking. That's not about that. It's about efficiency. And, you know, when a play breaks down, then maybe, you know, you give him the rock and say, do something. You know, which just happens with in the modern NBA.
Right.
He doesn't stretch the floor, and he doesn't defend.
Yeah.
So those are my two biggest issues. But, you know, at the vet minimum, he could be an interesting. But I don't know. To me, he's a no. He's a no. I'm more open to Brody because I still see the hunger in Brody.
Okay.
You know, he really does want to win.
I hear that. I hear you.
You know what I mean? And that's what we need, winners here in New York. I think that's who was that? Someone tweeted something out or put an article out recently about that mentality. And I think that's something that the Knicks did have last season. Even though we had holes, we had issues. You know, Cat's not a great defender. Brunson isn't either.
Yeah.
Hart was struggling defensively. Mikal Bridges was making people pull their hair out. He's incredible hitting game-winning shots one day and then going 1 for 10 from the three-point line the next, you know. And then OG looked like he was going to become an all-NBA player for that 10, 12-game stretch. And then, you know, then he suddenly can't make a corner three. But they were winners.
Yeah.
They had a winning mentality. And even when there was bickering, it was about winning. And we need guys on this team that are about winning. I can't say that about Clarkson.
That's
fair. I don't know.
That's
fair.
I
don't want to say that he's not. I just don't know.
That's fair.
But Brody has the hunger. Brody has that hunger.
We got some more breaking news here. Ooh. Dorian Finney-Smith is out of Los Angeles. He's leaving Hollywood. He's going to H-Town. 4 years, $53 million. Dorian Finney-Smith. The Rockets got a big upgrade. Big upgrade here. Hey, you get rid of Dillon Brooks, some toughness and defense. You get some more 3-and-D wing experience here with Dorian Finney-Smith. The Rockets are having a good offseason, man. 4 years, $53 million. I mean, that's $13 million a year. He chose to leave the Lakers. The Lakers could have paid him more.
Yeah. Wow. That's a big move. The Rockets, you're right. I mean, Rockets are having a tremendous offseason. They are set up. They see a chance. They see a chance to get to the NBA Finals, though. It's going to be rough to get through OKC even next year. But, you know, we know it's hard to repeat.
Yeah.
You know, the wear and tear of a long season and going deep into the playoffs. They had 2 7-game series that were tougher than expected. And you never know, you know, the weird injury situation. Look what's happened to the East. So Houston's like set up. They're like, you know, let's load up. Like you said, they got rid of Dillon Brooks, and now they brought in a guy who is a better shooter than Dillon Brooks. Defensively, I guess he's more He has more versatility. Dorian. I like it. It's a good deal. It's an upgrade.
Yeah. Dorian Finney-Smith, ladies and gentlemen, is headed to H-Town. What do you guys think in the chat? Rate that deal in the chat. 1 being trash, 5 being facts. All right, so free agency is kicking off. Free agency is definitely kicking off here, George. CP the franchise. We got into the Knicks versus George Esqueda in the building. Let's bring in our guy, man. Let's bring in the Stratocaster.
Yeah, Stratocaster.
And get him in here. We got Alex Sotaros in here. Stratocaster in the building. Al, how you feeling, man?
What's going on, CP? What's going on, George, man?
What's up, Alex? Time
talking to you, man? Yeah. Good, man. How you doing?
Doing all right, man. Doing all right. Recovered from that ending of the postseason. I feel good. I feel rejuvenated. Got my hair cut. Feeling good. Optimistic. Free agent day. Not that the Knicks going to sign any of the big free agents, but I'm excited. How about you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. We got free agency going on today.
Yeah.
You know, we see Ariel Huckporty. Huckamania is back, so I know CP's happy.
Huck is back. Huck is back.
Well, I'm ready, man. I'm ready. I'm locked in for free agency.
So far, we just talked about DFS, Dorian Finney-Smith, to the Houston Rockets, man. Your thoughts?
That is good move to the Houston Rockets. I mean, defensively, you think you lose something with Brooks, you bring him in, which is nice. More versatility on the perimeter. You get a good shooter. Rockets looking pretty interesting for next year, man. And keep in mind, this is a team that finished second in the tough Western Conference. You now get Kevin Durant, who I like for them. I know there's questions about health and stuff along those lines, but look, if you get KD to play about 60, 65 games and he's healthy throughout the entire postseason, that's a scary team, man. That's the closer that they need offensively, and then they still keep that defensive identity. It's a really tough team, man.
Yeah,
very tough team.
Definitely, man. So that is that. We have Triple J. Okay, Memphis Grizzlies and guard Sam Spencer. Okay, so Sam Spencer, lower tier guy, goes back to Memphis. We have Paul Reed.
Yeah.
Signs back with Detroit. Okay.
Who cares?
Paul Reed. How about the Triple J deal, Al? $240.
Dude.
5-year, $240 for Triple J.
Man.
Talk about it, man.
Forget making calls if Triple J is available. Memphis said, we do not need Desmond Bane. We are much happy with what we got over here, and we'll figure it out moving forward. But, hey, good stuff for Triple J, man, getting paid. That was the big question. Was he going to get that extension? And they're locking things up. I'm just curious how you fill that out, man, because you thought you had like not a true big three, but you thought you had the three guys out there with Desmond Bane, Ja, and Triple J. But I guess they're banking in that Ja will take a step forward in his development. Same thing with Triple J. But I'm very curious how those guys move things forward with the new roster that they got going on over there.
Yeah. So certainly going to be interesting, man. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit the like button, hit the share button, and subscribe to the channel. CP The Franchise, Alex Shataros. We got George Esqueda, a.k.a. Into the Knicks verse, in the building, NBA Free Agency Central. And, yeah, man, this is also the Knicks Free Agency Zone as well. Shout out to everybody watching on the Bleacher Report. Salute to Stephen T1. He says, looking like Clarkson coming to the Garden. We'll have to see, man. We will have to see. Shout out to Brunson.
What do you
Burner,
think, Alex? About that?
Yeah, man. Al, what do you think, man?
Well, we got Jordan Clarkson, Russell Westbrook.
Yeah. What do you think, man?
Beggars can't be choosers, man. At this point. Beggars can't be choosers. CP, I know we were talking offline a little bit. I'm actually okay with the Westbrook idea. I know the three-point shooting would be abysmal when you have him next to Josh Hart, but I think the value that he offers is just it's greater than the numbers at points. Like, is he the same guy out in OKC? No, but he's still a guy that gets downhill and has some playmaking chops, and that's something that second unit needs. You know, it was desperately needed. I mean, Deuce is not going to do that. The question is, what does that mean for Tyler Kolek moving forward? I would have liked to see him get more minutes, but if you're the Knicks and you don't know how he's going to progress in year two, since we didn't get a lot of, opportunities to see how he progressed in year one, I get wanting to go get somebody like Westbrook, and his contract is what, $6 million, so it's very cheap, and that's an easier deal to make a move for than somebody like Jordan Clarkson, who's a little bit more. You have to give something more substantial. Which would I be upset with Jordan?
Clarkson's getting bought out. Clarkson's
getting bought out.
He's a free agent.
Oh!
Yeah, both guys are free agents.
I think Westbrook's brought out too.
Yeah,
Westbrook was
we're talking vet minimums.
Both of them were bought out.
Yeah. Well, we're talking vet minimums.
Vet minimums.
This is how you know they walked into the 9 to 5 this morning. Holy cow.
Yeah.
All right, so if this is just the buyout market, I'm taking Jordan Clarkson over Westbrook.
That's what I said. That's what I said.
He's a 3-level threat, man. You need a 3-level threat.
Yeah.
He doesn't shoot the three. I mean, he had an okay season last season, but could have been fluky.
Clarkson?
Yeah, Clarkson. He's a 33% career 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
He just can make 3 or 4 in a row sometimes, and then you're like, and he's killed us in the past as well, so maybe that stigma lingers. But he is not dependable from the outside, and he doesn't space the floor, and he's a terrible defender, as I was saying earlier to CP, where Russell. He's got that dog in him, and he's got that real desire to win, which I think is a really important ingredient for this current version of the Knicks.
Yeah.
But if you're getting them cheap, then that could work.
True indeed. Let's go to Stilico on the Discord. Stilico, how you feeling, man?
Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
How you doing, bro?
All right, CP, Alex. Here's the deal.
Yep.
George is right here. You can't teach dog. You can't teach winning mentality. We need somebody in the building who is going to hold Mikal accountable for not being aggressive at the rim.
Mm-hmm.
We need somebody that's going to walk up to OG and say, "Listen, man, I'm throwing this ball to you. When it leaves your hand, it better go in that circle over there."
Yeah.
We need somebody that is able to come in especially since we do not know who is going to be the coach. So we can't trust right now that it's going to be somebody that's going to be hard-nosed, tough, going to instill accountability in them. I know Russell Westbrook going to do it. I saw him do that to a team where his stretch big was Domantas Sabonis. You can't tell me that he will not walk in that door day one and everyone around him is going to be more tough. Aaron Gordon willing to die for this man.
Right.
He walked out there when he did not have to.
This is more of a PJ Tucker role, but more serviceable is what you're saying. That's what you're looking for. Still.
And then separately, I don't know how it ended up because I can't find the stats, but I do know this stat was at least true through somewhere in the first round. Do you know who had the lowest opponent effective field goal percentage in the playoffs? That would be Russell Westbrook of all people.
Okay.
He was sitting there and being a dog, which is what this team desperately needs. Now, I will say I'm biased. I've been wanting him in the Garden since forever and a day.
The truth comes out now.
To the Garden, no, I am. I'm not going to hide that. And if we sign him, I'm getting the jersey day one. I don't care. I've been waiting for this for the better part of a decade.
Yeah. All right.
But that's my guy in this free agency class.
There you go. Shout out to Stilico. Hey, rate that take in the chat. Good people in the chat. 1 being trash, 5 being facts. Stilico on the Discord says, go get Brody. Okay. All right. Now, George Alex, any comments on that?
Look, I think. Go. So I for Westbrook, like George still bring up great points, like being a dog. Like that's an element that I think when you talk about the intangibles that you can't measure, you definitely got to bring in that. And you know he's going to be about winning. You know he's going to be about wanting a championship. I just don't know how we could say the same thing for Clarkson. I mean, if you look at Clarkson's career, he hasn't been on a winning team, like Lakers before LeBron. Cleveland, right? Like he was essentially moved for LeBron. He didn't really get to spend time over there. I can't remember if they shared time. And then Utah, like what has Utah been over the last couple of years? So I can't say that. And while both of them are different scores and bring two different elements, like George, I know you're saying that he's a career 33% shooter. Last season shot 36%.
Yeah, last
for
year
the
was
most. And you know, I know he didn't play many games, but I'd rather go with the guy who's capable of doing that rather than Westbrook. That's just me because Clarkson could still get downhill. He's still shifty. I know it's going to be a lot of him focusing on like when he's with that second unit, which may not be a bad thing. Just if we think about the second unit that we had, like between Deuce, you think about Mitch, even in that lineup, a lot like even Shamet. When you had Campaign out there, Campaign was essentially trying to get his best Jordan Clarkson impersonation going on, and it's like, I think the second unit needs somebody who's willing to take the reins and be that aggressive offensively. Not saying that Westbrook can't, but at least for Clarkson, even if it's going to be a game where he hits, goes 7 for 8, and the next night he'll go like 0 for 7. At least on those nights, you still have to honor him. Whereas Westbrook, guys are just sagging off him, and that's just I'm just thinking of if there's that possibility of Hart and Westbrook sharing the floor, it's just and God forbid you even have Mitchell Robinson out there. That's just I think that's a little too much for me to even look, and I think that's even a little too much for the Knicks. So I get the idea of Westbrook. Once again, I wouldn't be upset if you got either one of them, but I'm still going to lean Clarkson over Westbrook though.
Westbrook before last season, which he only played 37 games, he shot 36%. Before last, the 3 seasons before that total, he shot 31% from the 3-point line. It's just dangerous for us to have guys like that, because that's the one thing we desperately need, especially from that second unit. We need guys that can rain some threes. I mean, honestly, look, we're arguing between two guys that we probably aren't really right for this team in reality into how they play the game. So then you got to look at their mental makeup. And in that case, I lean towards Russ. I'd rather look at other guys. I mean, like Luke Kennard, man. He would be a fantastic role player. The other guy called and said, "Oh, can we get Dante back?" Kennard, man, he could be that kind of guy. But we might need to use the taxpayer mid-level exception, and then that'll hard cap us. So unless we can make another move to clear up a little more space, that could be tricky. Or, well, he's unrestricted now, right, Luke?
He is unrestricted, but you're going to be asking for his market to dwindle, and it's not clear if that's going to happen. That's a tricky thing with the Knicks, is that they are pretty much limited to the vet minimum contracts, because as you said, George, the Knicks do have that $5.7 million taxpayer mid-level exception, but if they use it or use any amount of it, they can split it up into two different players. Mm-hmm. But number one, that's going to be less than the vet minimum for most guys anyway. But let's say for ish and giggles they did, you're going to trigger the second apron no matter how you slice it. So even if they wanted to try to give him $4 million of that, they're still going to trigger the second apron. So for the Knicks, that's why it's like, with the Brody and the Clarkson thing, it's like, you're gonna be able to spend all day finding flaws, but it's like, this is what you're working with. You got to hope that you can find lightning in a bottle, the right combination, the right chemistry, the right rotations by the coach, the durability, all of that for this thing to come together. That's just the reality of the equation.
What do you guys think about bringing our guy Shamet back?
Certainly, he had a good finish. I thought Shamet finished very strong. And, defensively, his three-point shooting came around as well. And he's still fairly young. I mean, he looks like an old guy, just appearance-wise. You thought he was in the league for man long because he played for a lot of teams. Like, he played for the Nets, he played for the Clippers, played for the Suns. So he's been around. But he's still a very young guy. Was he like 27?
I don't know, something like that.
I think so I think the Knicks should bring him back now. Could he have a bit of a market? Well, let's see. I don't think it's going to be any greater than vet minimum, but let's see here.
Do you think it makes a difference if you bring Westbrook on the roster?
Yeah.
Or if you bring Clarkson on the roster? If you want Shamet back?
Well, hang on. Let's get to some more news. I don't want to necessarily make it all Knicks centric. Let's get to some more news because it is NBA free agency. Jake LaRavia signs with the Utah Jazz. I got the wrong screen on. Jake LaRavia signs with the Los Angeles Lakers. Sorry. I saw the purple. I saw Utah Jazz. 2 years, $12 million. Okay, so the Lakers get a nice young scrapper with some upside here. He went from Memphis to the Sacramento Kings, and now he's a member of the Lakers. 2 years, $12 million.
It's a good signing.
Yeah, I think that is a good signing, man. He certainly came up, and I think the Kings were capped at the amount that they could pay him for $6 million. So he went to the Lakers for the same amount. Hey, I take
think
it.
about it.
Play with LeBron and Luka Doncic over anybody on Sacramento.
I was about to say the exact same thing, man. What do you want to? Do you want to take the risk with the Kings, or do you want to go compete with some top talented players?
Yeah, you elevate your profile. You play with LeBron and Luka. They'll absolutely make you a better player. And after that 2 years, hey, you never know. Maybe you re-up with the Lakers, or you go somewhere else after your stock increases. You know what I mean?
Ooh, interesting from Shams. The Memphis Grizzlies and Cole Anthony's reps at Excel Sports are working towards a resolution that allows Memphis to create the necessary cap space to renegotiate and extend. Oh, okay.
Wait, what's going on? Because his pop said this is what Greg Anthony said, he might get bought out.
Yeah. I just read that.
Okay. What are you reading before I play the Greg Anthony clip? Is something recent?
No, this is from Shams 10 minutes ago. This is because they extended Triple J. They want to give Anthony the opportunity to find his next destination. Oh, that's where it's going.
Okay, so Cole Anthony's out of there. Here's Greg Anthony. Here we go. Pops has the inside. Here we go. Oh well, this is a crappy soundbite, but basically, Greg Anthony's saying that there's a possibility that Cole Anthony gets bought out. So could Cole Anthony?
Bondi just tweeted. I says Knicks and Clarkson, who was just bought out by the Jazz, have mutual interest in free agency.
Okay, so it looks like that's going to happen. All right.
I think that might have been the. Remember, you were asking me, "What is there a deal? Is there a deal?" Maybe that's what sparked that.
Yeah. All right. Well. Okay. All right. So there that is. All right. NBA free agency central, man. Knicks free agency central as well. So to everybody in the chat, hit the like button, hit the share button, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get to some people on the phones. Let's load some people up on the phones here. Let me see who we got. Okay. Let's go to NSB Corey. NSB Corey, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yo, what's going on, CP?
Good.
What's going on?
How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing well, man. Just bored right now, man. I'm surprised. You know, this free agency, man, hasn't always been this uneventful. So, the tables are turning a little bit. But I just wanted to touch base on the Cole Anthony thing. Saw that just pop up. Seems to be a little bit of interest there. For myself, I'm looking at it. I like Cole Anthony's energy. He's a high energy kind of guy, but his consistency, is something that's up in the air. But I kind of like the way we sit right now. I think New York really just needs to probably round off with some strong vets, some good knockdown shooters, and coaching. Find that coach and find a way to unlock this team. That's what I really think it's about.
Yeah, there you go, man. Al, I'm gonna let you just take the reins for 1 second. I gotta step away for a second. Go ahead.
All right, let's get back to it. George, were there any trades?
That's pretty.
Oh, you're still.
Yep, that's pretty much all I got to say. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, sorry.
You guys have a good day.
You too, man.
You too. Thanks for the call.
George,
Cole
were there any trades, or do you want to continue to talk about Cole Anthony?
Oh, you mean you want to talk about LeBron?
the cryptic Rich Paul saying, "Hey, we still want to compete, even though we want to opt into this contract extension." What do you make of all that, man? What do you make of all that?
I think, unlike in years past, where he was like just trying to force the Lakers' hand, I think it's genuine. I think he looks at it as like, you know what? He tapered off. He had such a sensational year the year before. And you look at his numbers, he tapered off. He struggled in the playoffs. He had several 1-for-5 3-point shooting games. He struggled for him. He's still a great playmaker, great force out on the court. But he definitely has the ability to be part of a championship team. And he's looking around and he's like, you know what? The West is going to be tough. Getting past OKC is going to be tough. Getting past Houston's going to be tough. I think even Denver is still, they showed tremendous signs of life last season, taking OKC to 7 games. And then Golden State, they're not going to sit quiet. They're going to do something. So he's looking at it's like, what are we really going to do with the Lakers? Yes, you got Luka, but it's a flawed team. So he's looking around, and this might be a moment where he does force a move back to Cleveland. Or right here with us, the Big Apple.
Oh, man.
Look, honestly, for us, I've thought a lot about it over the weekend, especially yesterday. I thought a lot about it, just hanging out in my cousin's pool. And I don't think he's the right guy for us at this moment. We'd have to give up too much. Though, man, his playmaking though is still just top level. And he could, if anyone, look at it this way. Let's say he just appeared on the team. I don't know who we'd have to give up, but let's say it's the team we have. He just appears on it. It's basically recreating the 2016 Cavs, where Cat plays the Kevin Love role, Brunson's the Kyrie role. You got some great role players, and then LeBron just orchestrates this thing. That could be now, but this is now it'll be 10 years later, pretty much. So in that case, that's the downside.
That I was about to say that's the downside, George.
Yeah.
It's
If
like,
this was 5 years ago, and our team was where we are now, like dial it back, get in a time machine, all that stuff, man, that would be a tremendous piece. So then, that's why I'm thinking, I think it would cause too much damage to what we have currently right now. And then there's always the chance that his age, that his ability regresses even more. He still averaged 24 points a game last season, which is phenomenal. But you never know. He could be 21 points a game next season. We don't know. And he could get hurt. And then you've given up important pieces. So, and after thinking about it all the way through, I'm a no on the LeBron coming to the Knicks.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is the no is the contract. It's not like, because he's going to opt in, and as he should opt in. It's what, 52.6
Yeah, he did. He
million?
opted in.
Yeah. And it's like, who do you have to? Essentially, it's Cat that you'd have to trade in that deal in order to make it, or you're doing some combination of OG and Mitch, or and then
I think it's OG and Mitch,
and then you keep going down the line, and it's all right. But how long do you have with LeBron on this roster, right? And that's really the bigger thing. And so it doesn't really make sense for the Knicks, although I'll tell you this, jersey sales would be through the roof if they did it, even if you did it for one season. But I think for the short term and for how Leon has operated for this franchise, it's always thinking about the future. How can we keep this window open up long enough to compete? And I still think, even with the flaws that this roster demonstrated this past season, defensively for the most part, and even like the lack of offensive creativity that we saw, they were still able to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. And it's not, for me, we don't need to do that much of an overhaul to just try to go win a championship to try for 1 year. At the same time, I'm looking at the rest of the East saying, who's going to compete with the Knicks this season? Like, on paper, the Magic look cool, but you still got to, go out there and actually do the damn job. Pacers not going to have Halliburton. You see that the Celtics have already sold off KP, Drew Holiday. Tatum's going to be out for most likely the year. You then talk about not having Damian Lillard for the Milwaukee Bucks, and so you're looking at a Giannis and a Kuz type situation. I just don't see what the rush would be when a lot of the East is still, up there to be had. So that's why I'm not big for LeBron. But what do you think about him if he were to go back to Cleveland?
See, that's the thing. Sometimes in baseball, it's really important. Sometimes you have to make a move to keep a player away from your rival, your division rival. If he goes to Cleveland, that really, really will help that team. But they'd have to give up like Jared Allen, at least Jared Allen, and some pieces that are important to that team. But if they can hold on to Mobley and Spida, and then put LeBron there, that team could really give us a lot of trouble in the next Eastern Conference Finals.
For sure. I think for Cleveland, that'd be an interesting team. Like, how that even works. Is that even similar to...
You look at the salaries of Cleveland.
Is that even similar to what he had when he was back out in Cleveland? If you keep Donovan Mitchell, is that, as what you were talking about for the Knicks, is that like the Kyrie, is Mobley the Caleb of that team? Like, how does that even work?
It's a little different. It's a little because of Donovan Mitchell. Yeah. They didn't have a Donovan Mitchell kind of guy,
right?
That Cleveland team. So it's a little different. Let me see the salaries.
So let's everybody tune in for to the NBA report and KFTV. We're covering the NBA free agency. Start today at 6. Obviously, deals were being started yesterday with extensions and trades and all that good stuff. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to break it all down. If you want to call in and give us your thoughts, make sure to do so. Go through the Discord, through either the NBA Report Discord or KFTV. What was that, George?
Oh, sorry. The Cavs, they could trade DeAndre Hunter and Jared Allen. That comes to about 52 million and change. That's pretty comparable right there. They throw in a pick. DeAndre Hunter and Jared Allen. Now, is that better than OG and Mitch? Or let's say McCall and Mitch
Mm-hmm.
Debatable.
Yeah.
But that team, so DeAndre Hunter and Jared Allen, and he goes to a team with Darius, who plays the Kyrie role, Donovan Mitchell, who they didn't even have anybody like that before. And then Evan Mobley is there doing the Kevin Love type role, but a better defender version of Kevin Love. I still got Max Strus there. And then they picked up Lonzo
recently. I like that move.
Yeah.
I like that move a lot. I wish we could have gotten Lonzo.
Yeah, I'm worried about the Cavs. I'm worried about the Cavs. That's why if he goes there, if this is real this time, other than this is just like posturing, then that could really make our trip to the finals more complicated.
But do you even think, like, I know it's serious, and I agree with your points where at this stage of his career, and like every year we're talking about him getting closer to retirement, but it's like, all right, man, you keep proving like father time wrong. Like you could potentially go for another 2-3 years, right? But like, why would he want to leave the Lakers where you now have Luka Doncic on that team? You still got Reeves. Why go to that for where you have to do a lot of like shape shifting of that Cavs team? You don't even have a center. That was a big thing with him out in LA, needing a center. Does Mobley want to play a 5 full time? This is where I'm like, is that like Hunter's in that deal is not really the big thing, but
yeah,
it's more so giving up the center, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean but you could probably pick up somebody, in the free agent market to help eat up some of those minutes that Jared Allen basically make up for the Jared Allen minutes if Mobley doesn't want to play the 5 full time. But he often plays the 5. I know I think that would be a scary team
for sure,
in my opinion. I mean, if I just rate them all, I still would put Knicks number 1, but like I'd put Cavs, 1B. And they've proven already. I mean, that team they put together last season, they won 68 games. Is that what they won? 60. So it's like they or 64. That would be scary if LeBron went there. So in that case, then it's like, okay, maybe we should do it, because then we take that away from them. And then, he comes here, gets us to the finals, of all, health allows. And man, that would be a tremendous storybook ending to an incredible career, that he's the guy who helps the final piece, who helps bring the championship after 53 years to this incredible city.
Whew. Dodged just once, came back and did it.
Yes, right? He like makes up for it.
What a legacy that would be too. At that point, if he did do that, would he surpass Michael Jordan?
That's a great question.
Because I mean,
he would have won with 4 different teams.
I was about to say yes.
That's a tremendous question, and at his age to do it, I mean, in some ways you'd have to say that he would. I mean, to me, Michael's the best player. Michael's the best player to me. But if LeBron was able to do that, either with Cleveland or New York, just be frank about it. But with Cleveland, he'd be going back to the team that he already won with. But in a way, it's like a 4th team. It's a totally different team. It would, but if he did it in New York, it would really make me start considering more like, yeah, you know what? When you look at the total arc of his career, he might be the greatest player of all time if he does it in New York.
And we got another deal coming through, according to Shams Charania. We got free agent D'Angelo Russell has agreed to a 2-year, $13 million deal with the Dallas Mavericks. Mavs officials and CAA co-heads of basketball Austin Brown, Aaron Mintz, and Antonio Russell reached the new contract after free agency began. So now we have D'Angelo Russell going down to Dallas. We know that Kyrie Irving is most likely missing most, if not all, of this season. So you now have D'Angelo Russell. Hey, he gets to be paired back with Anthony Davis down there. What do you think about the new Dallas team that they're creating over there after moving Luka during the regular season, this past regular season?
They're kind of a difficult team to really analyze at the moment, because I don't think they're done. And without Kyrie, one of the greatest playmakers, shot makers, shot creators ever in the history. The greatest handle. I think he probably has the greatest handle that I've ever seen. D'Angelo, he's a good player. He's a quality player. Is he a winner? And then you have Cooper Flag coming in, who will probably end up being the actual point guard. So what Kid kind of intimated at that, not the whole time, but at times. I think he's going to use Flag kind of similar to how Larry Bird was used. Larry Bird was like technically the first like real point forward, but then no one used that term back then.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be interesting, but Anthony Davis, I mean, the guy is so injury prone. It's tough. They're a tough team. I'm not sure how they fit in. And again, the West is stacked. We already put 4 teams above the Lakers, and we didn't even mention Dallas. So it's tough. It's tough. But with Cooper Flag, he might come in and might just be a total outstanding player. And he does elevate guys around him. He's a fantastic passer on top of being already he's NBA ready defensively. They so lucked out, man. I'm so pissed. I'm so pissed about that. So pissed about that. And I'm pissed about Nico's response afterwards. What do you say? Favors the bold or something. It's like, that's ridiculous.
Man. It's like, look, the NBA constantly has to make a question: is the lottery rigged or not? I mean, after you get rid of Anthony Davis, you get Zion Williamson. Now after you get rid of Luka Doncic, you get Cooper Flag, and this is not like the first time either. There's been a lot of examples where even when Derrick Rose, the Bulls had I think like a 2% chance to get like the hometown hero Derrick Rose. He goes to his hometown. It's like there's stuff where he just makes you scratch your head. Like, is this plan? Is this marketing strategy? This is where you gotta wonder.
Yeah, we're getting conflicting information on the deal for D'Angelo.
What's the
original one was 2 years, $13 million, but now Bobby Marks is saying he signed with a 5.6 tax mid-level exception, which triggers the second apron for Dallas.
Whoa, another deal coming through. We got Michael Porter Jr. being traded to the Brooklyn Nets for Cam Johnson and an unprotected 2032 first-round pick goes with that. Wait, Denver Nuggets are trading Michael Porter Jr. and an unprotected 2032 to the Brooklyn Nets to get Cam Johnson? This is interesting, man. The Nuggets are giving up a first rounder to get Cam Johnson.
That is wild.
Wow.
That is stunning.
That is shocking.
What do they know? What do they know that we don't know? Cam's a nice player.
Cam is a nice player, but I mean, here's my thing about Michael Porter Jr. Yes, he's got a nice jumper, but the man has been so inconsistent in the postseason. He just vanishes. And I think at this point, you got to wonder, is it even worthwhile keeping him on the team and going to get somebody who's a more consistent shooter in Cam Johnson? I think that's what this move is going for. But talk about shaking up the team.
That's a big move. It could also have been money. It could be another financial situation with this. Let's see. Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr. is a much better 3-point shooter. Mm-hmm. But Cam, Cam can get to the hoop, and Cam is a better defender. He's got a little bit of a mid-range game as well. I'm shocked about the first-round pick.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that's throwing me off is that to me, when you're putting in a first round pick, you're saying, and I know that it's 2032, so it's way out there, but to me, it's saying that you believe that Cam is the better player than Michael Porter Jr., which
I don't know about that.
Talent-wise, I go with Michael Porter Jr., but I guess if you're looking at what Porter Jr. has done, and I'm pulling up his stats right now to get his full postseason stats because they're not pretty. It's not the prettiest thing, especially. Let's see. So this postseason he only averaged like 8.5 shots per game. Shot 34% from downtown on 5 attempts, so even less than the year prior to. It was only averaging 9 points per game. So a dramatic drop off from the 16
in the
points.
playoffs.
Yeah, in the playoffs. This is just for the playoffs. So a dramatic drop from averaging 16 points per game. And when they won the chip, wow, even his field goal percentage, it was under 40% this postseason. He was not good whatsoever.
This has helped Denver a lot financially.
Yeah.
MPJ was going to make 38.3 million next season, and then 40 million the following season. And I think that was a player option. But still, that's a lot of money, where Cam is only going to make 21 million next season. So that is a $17 million savings. So now, Nuggets can use that money to basically fill in other spots that they desperately need. I mean, they need some outside shooting as well. Maybe they'll go after like a Luke Kennard and a couple other players.
Yeah,
I think this was more a financial move.
I also think they probably know something a little bit more about the shoulder injury too for Michael Porter Jr. because he did have that grade 2 sprain in the AC joint in his left shoulder. So
yeah,
it might be another thing where it's like, do we want to, take a risk for a guy who's had multiple injuries? I mean, look, the Knicks didn't draft him because of back injuries, right? And
it hurts still to even think about that too.
I know, but it's like, you look at it, it's like, do we want to take this risk with this guy who's dealt with a lot of injuries? And to your point, you are saving money, but also I think for this past postseason and just like, because I know the numbers look better in the years past, but he's been a little, like, I remember that finals run. He was very erratic in his, in his scoring.
And the year they won?
Yeah, in the year that they won, yeah. And I'm not saying Cam Johnson's going to completely replace that. But I wonder if it's to them like we would much rather deal with a role player now and figure out how to replace MPJ rather than hoping that he can rise to that occasion yet again. And even, I mean, I know it was with nobody, but Cam Johnson did average 19 points this season with the Nets in the 57 games that he played. Granted, it was the Nets.
He shot 39% from the three on decent volume, 7.2.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, he shot almost 58% inside the arc, 89% free throw shooter. I mean, he's a better defender than MPJ.
For sure. We got more breaking news here, man.
Here we go.
Shams saying that free agent guard Ty Jerome has agreed to a 3-year, $28 million deal with the Memphis Grizzlies with a player option in year 3. There we go. So we got Ty Jerome leaving the Cavaliers, going to the Memphis Grizzlies. And hey, not saying he's going to replace Desmond Bane, but if you're looking for a guy who did a really good job creating his own shot and putting up points this season with the Cavs coming off the bench, maybe if you're the Memphis Grizzlies, you say, we don't have Desmond Bane, but we bring this guy in, maybe he can eat up a little of the minutes over there and get us some of the scoring that we'll be missing from Desmond Bane. What do you think of that deal, though?
I mean, it seems a little high for him. Seems a little high for him. But then again, I mean, he definitely gave them some big minutes last season during the regular season, gave the Cavs big minutes. I think he definitely struggled in the playoffs. You know what? They needed to do something. They needed to pick up some pieces, especially if you're going all in with Triple J and Ja. You need a guy like Ty Jerome who can give you some consistent 3-point shooting. He's tough. He's got some dog in him, which that I do like that about him. I think it's a decent deal.
Yeah,
actually, what do I say? Oh no, it's under. It's like $9 million per season. Actually, it is kind of cheap. Actually,
I think
if you think Quentin Grimes wants $25 million.
Oh my God! But I mean, like That's going to be a trickier one for Philly to figure out just because he did ball out. I know the whole thing will be, well, they weren't playing for anything. Who are they actually playing against? He had all the shots.
Yeah.
That's going to be a tricky one because do you let him shake loose? Maybe someone doesn't pay him 25 million, but does he get paid enough where he's happy and he still produces it? Maybe not that level, but close enough. That's going to be a tricky one, but Ty Jerome from Memphis is.
I think he can get like a like kind of deal that Finney-Smith just got for Grimes. It was like 17.5 million average.
I think
he's worth that. Deal. He's a prototypical. He's an excellent defender. I mean, I'm a huge Grimes fan.
Oh, I love Grimes, man. I wish we never got rid of him.
Yeah. I mean, he can you imagine him on last year's team?
That's exactly what we needed off the bench.
Would have been fabulous. Yeah, instead of trying to force Josh Hart to be, a 3-point shooter, we'd actually have a real legit one. And he started finishing at the hoop finally, because he struggled for early part of his career finishing at the hoop. He figured that part out of his game. I think he'll get a deal. He'll get a deal from someone. That's why when I look at this deal, it's interesting. That might actually lower Grimes' ability for his ask, because this guy's getting. See exact numbers. Yeah, but 9.3 million. Yeah, Grimes wants at least double that.
Yeah, man. I think the thing, and you can't forget about Grimes' playmaking too. He's going to be interesting to see what happens with him in this free agent market. See where he ends up, and then we got, according to Fred Katz of The Athletic, Dennis Schroeder will agree to sign with the Sacramento Kings. Interesting.
They were also looking at Russ.
Yeah,
they wanted to sign both of them.
But you just had a good postseason run with the Pistons. I wonder if the Malik Beasley thing is throwing things off with him returning, because I feel like not knowing where, because Beasley was such an instrumental guy for that roster. I guess the uncertainty of what can Detroit do if he's not there, or who else they can get. I'm not saying
what's going to happen there. What if they investigate and they find him innocent? Then all this negative press has come out. I mean, how sure are they that this really happened? Because they just said Terry Rozier was innocent.
Yeah. I mean, it's the risk and the gamble everyone's taking, right? With all with not knowing. Do you sign this guy and then not have him, or do you not sign this guy and then you say, "Damn"?
We know why MPJ was traded away.
What is it?
Nuggets just signed Bruce Brown Jr.
They brought him back.
They brought him back. He was a key piece for them in that championship run. Yep, the trade opened up $14.1 million for Denver, and then immediately they use it to sign Bruce Brown. Wow. A 1-year deal. There's no numbers revealed yet.
There it
but
is.
So they basically, it's Cam Johnson and Bruce Brown in exchange for Michael Porter Jr.
Okay.
So now it starts making more. So we had that feeling. What was going to happen there.
He was so instrumental. It's like, I know he left so he can get paid, but sometimes, I don't know, man. Sometimes, like, if you want to be in a good situation, got to take that little pay cut. Here we go. We got, according, I know. Well, let's see. Hold on. I guess let me go to the source who reported this. Let's see.
You're talking about
the Clarkson thing from Begley.
Clarkson, yeah.
He said Knicks are at top of Jordan Clarkson's list once he clears waivers. League sources say Knicks currently see Clarkson as a priority signing. As Steve Popper said, New York has the $5 million taxpayer exception and veterans minimum exceptions available to offer Clarkson, who agreed to a buyout with the Utah Jazz ahead of free agency. So this is looking like more closer to a done deal for Jordan Clarkson for the New York Knicks. And then we also have Shams Charania reporting free agent guard Kevin Porter Jr. has agreed to a 2-year, $11 million deal to return to the Milwaukee Bucks, with a player option in 2026 to 27.
And another one is Kevin Looney has agreed to a 2-year, $16 million deal with the New Orleans Pelicans.
Ooh.
Yeah. After 10 years with Golden State.
Wow.
He's going down to the Big Easy. That Pelicans are a weird team too.
The Pelicans, I can't take that team seriously.
Yeah.
I can't take that team seriously, man. I mean, the whole Zion situation. I mean, now you got Jordan Poole down there with DeJounte Murray.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that team is, it can either be really, really good or really, really bad, and there's nothing in between. That's the way I look at that team. What did you think when you saw Jordan Poole going down to New Orleans?
I thought it was ridiculous, but I mean, they're that kind of franchise. I mean, they should have traded away Zion a long time ago already. Instead, and then they trade Ingram. I forgot who they got for Ingram.
I think they got Kelly Olynyk, who they then moved to the Wizards.
I mean, that's an odd move right there. I don't know. I don't understand that franchise. Totally mismanaged. At one point, they looked like they were going to basically leapfrog us like 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I remember we used to have some battles, Pelicans and the Knicks. It was looking really interesting, but no, they're really. I don't know. Maybe they want to tank for next season. But Looney's a weird signing for them. He doesn't shoot the three. It's pure defense. He's going to clog up the paint. He's for Zion, who needs space to operate. That's kind of an odd one. But the deal too, $8 million a year for Looney. Good for him.
Good for him indeed. Shout out to Knicks Nation, man. Shout out to NBA Nation. Thank you all for tuning for another free agency show. We are covering everything. We got news flying in left and right from Shams, the good people at The Athletic. Shout out to Fred. We got Begley giving us some news, as well as Steve Popper. We're covering it all here right now, trying to keep you guys up to date and just keeping the discussion going. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button for your boys. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. All right. Make sure to call in. We want to take your calls. Get to the phone lines. Let's hear what you guys got to take on all these signings, whether it be Knicks related, NBA related. Want to hear all the takes. All right. Make sure to go through the discourse. That way we can get you on board and hear what you got to say.
Wow. So it looks like Clarkson is going to be the guy. The one signing. What do you think of Tyus Jones?
I like Tyus Jones. I feel like he's just a table setter, though. I think we need more than just a table setter. And if we're going to stick with the table setter, it goes back to what are we doing with Tyler Kolek? Like, I feel like if you're bringing in Tyus Jones, you're moving like Kolek and a bunch of other guys for something else. That's my thought process. If you do that, I do like his game, but I just don't see. He's just not a shot creator. What we really need. That's why I understand the Clarkson signing, but yeah. What do you think about Tyus? Would you bring him on this team, or does he even make sense to you?
I like him. I like him. I think he's a solid player. He'd be excellent coming off the bench. He's a decent 3-point shooter, decent playmaker. You know, actually his passing's pretty good. That's one thing. We need a passing upgrade on this team. And Kolek is our best passer, but he didn't get a chance.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, really, our passing is not that great. You know, I'm surprised that we even got as far as we did, considering how awkward our passing is. You know, and that's the thing that the Pacers were able to exploit.
Yeah,
that's how they made us force us into all those turnovers. So it would be nice to have a real pure shot passer out there on the court, which he would bring some of that. But Kolek, I mean, people have said he might have been the best passer to come out of the NCAA of the past 10 years. You know, there's some people that feel that way.
Yeah,
we didn't get to see that. That's why I'm on your side here with looking at Clarkson or Westbrook and stuff. It'd be nice to see what Kolek can give us. But we'd have to wait to see what he does in summer league. If he shines in summer league, I can see him maybe getting serious consideration. But he has no relationship with the new coach. All that's gone, so he's starting from scratch. It and maybe it is a package. Maybe he shines in summer league. Put a couple pieces together. Him with Precious for a sign and trade, and maybe we get maybe that's how we get that 3-point shooting threat that we desperately need.
Yeah,
I don't know who that guy would be. Because now Kennard is an unrestricted free agent, but let's say he was restricted, that could have been an interesting sign and trade type situation.
I like Kennard too. I think Kennard would have been a good fit for the Knicks. I like his off. I think the one thing Kennard does very well is move off ball. Like when you think about cutting, just shooting, catch and shoot, like utilizing screens. He's very good at that.
And he's a decent defender.
He is.
He's a better defender than he gets credit for.
He is, for sure. I think when you look at what the Knicks are looking for, they're just looking for somebody that could just fully break it down. And Wes, you had a whole. I feel like he would be best if you had like what the Grizzlies had, right? Like a whole second unit where he can go out there, where he could run a little bit of point. He could be a little bit of. He's a good combo guard, but he gets to like be on and off again and just kind of mix up his game while he's out there with the second unit. I feel like you need like a full starting five, because even though Brunson can pass and can find guys, I feel like he won't be fully utilized because we don't have another guy unless Cole gets out there and starts doing it. That's the only thing, man. That's truly the only thing. We got someone on the line right now. I want to get to Lynch. Lynch, please unmute your mic. What's going on, man?
What's going on, Alex? Thanks for taking my call.
Of course, man. How you doing? What do you think about this free agency so far?
Oh, I mean, it's a little weak this year, being that there's really no really big names out there, so to speak. I mean, my wish list would fall under like DeAndre Ayton, maybe Jordan Clarkson or Russ. I like them for the Knicks, but that's not what I called about. I really need to know, why isn't Mark Jackson or Sam Cassell getting a look for the head coaching position? I don't understand it. Like, it seems like Mark Jackson is blackballed, and Sam Cassell is one of the best assistant coaches in the league. He just won a championship, and he has 3 as a coach. I mean, as a player. Like, I don't understand it.
Hey, Cassell, I'm all there for. Mark Jackson, I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pass, and I'm gonna quote my guy Andrew Claudio. I'm gonna quote my guy Andrew Claudio, because this is what happens when everyone brings up Mark Jackson. They say, hey, look how he built the Warriors, and then you get Steve Kerr to take it to the next spot. We already had the Mark Jackson, man. We already had the Mark Jackson type of experience with Tom Thibodeau. He already set us up, man. We're looking for somebody who could take us over the hill. I don't think it would be Mark Jackson, but I'm very intrigued by Cassell. Totally intrigued by him.
I gotta say, I'm stunned.
Sam
Cassell
would be terrific for us. I feel like he would get a lot of our players over the hump, and we could get to that next level. But Mark Jackson, man, he is a tried and true New Yorker. 2 stints with us. I really believe that he could be our Phil Jackson, our Pat Riley, that sort of coach. I really do. He set the precedent for Golden State. I mean, it was set up for Steve Kerr to just walk in and coach. Remember that year, Kerr chose Golden State over us. Why? Because we weren't all together at that time, So I really feel like Mark Jackson, even if it's not the Knicks, I just hate the fact that he is not getting a look at all throughout the NBA. Not even an assistant coach job. Like, what's going on, bro? But Sam Cassell, that should be our coach, not Dawn Staley, not James Borrego, not Mike Brown, not Michael Norrie. Like, all these people that they're looking at, Sam Cassell should be the guy.
I couldn't agree with you more, man, in terms of his ability.
Appreciate the call, Lynch.
He's a genius. He's a basketball genius.
Thank you, George. I appreciate you. Thank you, Alex, for taking my call. I appreciate you. Avid listener. Love what you're doing. Been a Knicks fan since '91. So I've bled with this team, fought people over this team. So I just want to see us
join the club.
Back to
hey, man. We're right there with you. Yeah. We're right there with you. Appreciate the call once again, Lynch. Have a good one. And look,
It is weird though. It is weird that Sam Cassell has not even gotten an interview or even a mention or for any open job. I mean, right now Knicks are the only open job, but you know what I mean? I think it is odd. He is no doubt, a brilliant basketball mind. He's a great motivator. I'm stunned. I'm stunned
as well. Rate that call in the chat, good people.
We got another big signing. Here, you got it up here.
Well, five being facts, one being trash. Let us know what you thought about Lynch's call. Do you want Mark Jackson back? Do you want Sam Cassell in here? What do you all think, man? What do y'all think? I see tomatoes in the chat. People throwing broccolis. I see some yawning emojis. Man, y'all got everything being thrown out. Woo! All right. Let us know what you think, man.
It's a very colorful chat right
now. It is a very colorful chat.
Got some broccolis in there.
Yeah. Don't need to go grocery shopping for a little bit hungry now with all this. All right. So we got a few super chats. Got to shout out to a few people, man. Shout out to Jay Boogie with the $10 super chat. Shout out to you, Jay Boogie. Salute to you. Yeah. Shout out to you for being a mod and a franchise channel member. Says thank you for all the players. My on-season surgery, doctors have said I'll be back stronger than ever in time for training camp. Salute, 3 capital S's. Blessing always. Salute to you, Jay Buggy. I'm glad that surgery went well. Can't wait to hear you call back in, man. Missing those sermons, man. Got to call back in sometime soon. Shout out to BLW for being a franchise channel for 26 months. Says, what's the value in signing a high-risk vet like Clarkson or Westbrook when the Knicks need consistency and are still developing McBride and others?
Well, I'm not going to get arguments from us about that.
Yeah, at this point, it's not. Unfortunately, what the cap has done, man, it has limited us into who we can go out there and get and how much you can spend because you don't want to create any more restrictions. The Knicks are already over the first apron. All right, they don't want to be going over the second apron and then essentially incapable of doing any deal. Okay, so with this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're looking at. It's going to be, as of right now, it's Clarkson in the lead, according to Steve Popper and Ian Begley. So
the only way you go over the second apron is if you got your team set.
You got to be 100%.
You got your coach, and this is the guy. Let's say it was Luke Kennard. You know what I mean? We got everything set up, got the guy, and then they're like, oh, look, we feel Kennard is the guy that we desperately need to put us over the top. Boom, let's do it. That's the only way. But I just don't see it happening. But some more big signings have happened.
Let me just get through some of these. Let me just get through the super chats, and then we'll get to those signings. We got the art man, formerly known as Steve. Shout out to you for being a franchise channel for 29 months. Says, evening, guys. Peace and blessings. Cole Anthony might be available as a backup point guard. Would you be interested in Cole Anthony?
See, I like that idea better than either.
You want
Clarkson.
The young player that has some upside?
Yeah, and he's got some history with the Knicks. His papa played here. I used to watch him play all the time. I like that he can create his own shot. I like that idea. And I like his age for the team. I like his approach a little more than I like Clarkson's approach to the game. And he has dog in him as well. He definitely has a desire to win. He loves to show up against us at the Garden,
that he does.
Yeah. So I like that idea as well.
For sure. I like the idea of Cole Anthony. I agree with you, George. I like the youth and just, building off the youth and seeing what we can get out of there. And because there's always wanting to add to your career as a professional, right? Rather than Clarkson, who's very more established, could be a wild card. I get it. Even with all the arguments that I made, right, and saying why I would take him over Westbrook. But once again, we're back in the bargain barrel, man. Beggars can't be choosers at this point because Cole Anthony's probably looking for a bigger deal, even though he's probably going to be bought out. He's looking for a contract, man. He's young, he's hungry, he wants to go prove himself. Unless he's willing to take a discount deal with the Knicks, I just wouldn't see that happening. And I hope they would be knocking on the door, just wondering what he's looking for.
Houston.
Last one we got here. The art man, formerly known as Steve, once again, shout out to you for a $10 super chat. I'm taking Mike Brown. Last person we had as a coach, other than Tibbs, with playoff wins and a winning record was Mike Woodson. Brown is Woody without the mustache goatee combo. 2 laughing emojis. Okay, man. Okay. Mike Brown. Man. I'll say coaching.
Oh yeah, we haven't talked because CP and I talked about the Mike Brown Jenkins thing. I don't know if you heard it, but I've been so indecisive about him. Either one, Taylor Jenkins, Mike Brown. I've been indecisive. At one point, I'm like, yeah, I think Jenkins is the guy. And then I, do some more research and look back at the season and and then JD talking in my ear, then I'm like, oh no. And I think maybe it's Mike Brown. Oh no, maybe it's Jenkins. I think, right now, I've said it already to the chat. I'm leaning towards Mike Brown over Taylor Jenkins at the moment.
Why is that?
I feel like, again, he has that similar kind of situation. He's been to the finals, hasn't been able to win it as a head coach. And what he was able to do with that Sacramento Kings offense in his first season there, I mean, obviously the man knows what he's doing in terms of trying to coax out the best offensively from your team. And he's also known as a good defensive coach. He comes from great pedigree, under Steve Kerr's tutelage. He won as an assistant there. He understands what it takes to win and go all the way, where I can't say that about Jenkins. And Brown, again, this is probably, I gotta say, I cannot even remember a better coaching situation in 10 years for any team, for a coach. This team is ready. The path to the finals is wide open for us. Basically, the guy just got to sit behind the wheel, and drive the truck. That's it. Get us there. It's easy. I mean, even you're hearing Bob Myers saying the Knicks is a great job. Everyone's talking about what an incredible situation this actually is, and that came after all the crap that the backlash that the franchise got for letting Thibs go. But in reality, this is a sweet situation. This is the best opportunity for any coach that's come around in a long time. They just step in and take, since Kerr took over Golden State.
I would say the thing about Mike Brown that certainly has him over Taylor Jenkins is that he has a winning record, and more experience working with, as you mentioned, the high profile players like LeBron James, Steph Curry. He's been in the big market in LA, so he knows what it's like to be in the spotlight. When he went to Sacramento, instantly turned that team around, had a very dynamic offense. As you mentioned, he's known for being a defensive minded coach, but yet got that Sacramento offense humming, absolutely humming. I mean, the options I'm looking at, I've been asking for an offense to look like that, considering you have, multiple options within a set, multiple actions, right? Guys constantly moving, creating opportunities, just mixing up the defense, something what the Pacers are doing. That's what the Kings were doing with Fox and Sabonis. So between him and Jenkins, I'd probably lean Brown, although to be quite honest, I'd much rather them go with a new face, like somebody like a Sam Cassell, a Micah Nori, or even a Johnny Bryant. I'm much more curious. I feel like there's more innovation when you get young guys. Of course, there's always that risk, but there's risk with any move that you take, right? These guys have been fired before. There's a reason why they've been fired. Same thing with even Taylor Jenkins. So to me, there's not going to be a surefire thing, but I think the biggest thing is who could connect with players. And that's kind of why when it goes back and forth between everything, I think about Johnny Bryant, somebody who's had really good player relations. I think that's the biggest thing that's needed. And let's just even think about why the coaching staff was assembled for Tibbs as it was, with Johnny Bryant, Payne, you think about Mike Woodson, is to have guys who can communicate with players, kind of soften the rigidity of who Tom Thibodeau is. And I kind of felt like even in the season, as we watched the games and the season progress, yes, we see the jokes between Brunson and Hart whenever he joined the show, right? Or even just those two guys talking on their pod and joking about who Tibbs is, and you have Cat sharing an IG photo, right? But I just never felt like when I looked at the Knicks bench that I felt like there was like a connection, like everyone just like, all right, there's like a lot of good communication going on, right? There's something I felt like that was lacking, and like we can't overlook stuff like that when it comes to working with professionals, especially when you're talking. It's not like, all right, guys, go out there, go do suicides, right? We know how that worked with Jim Beeline out in Chicago, and I'm not saying Tibbs did that, but do you need somebody who's able to communicate and get, keep these guys invigorated, inspired as they play? Sometimes it is pushing the right buttons verbally, right, to keep these guys locked in. I feel like that's something I look at with Johnny Bryant, and of course we all know the tweet that JD shared that Ben Taylor talked about, like how you can use guys who are off ball and create spacing. So we know he's thinking of the game it that way. Worked with Tibbs, so there's familiarity there. I'd like for them to go in that direction, but if it's going to be between Brown and Jenkins, I'll probably lean more Brown based on his resume than what Taylor Jenkins.
Do we know if Jenkins has had the second interview yet?
I don't.
Because we got confirmed that Brown did, and apparently he impressed. He impressed them.
I'm not 100% sure. We can look at that, but we do have people. Oh, we got people lining up on the phones. Let's get to the phones. I'm not 100% sure about that.
I am going to have to roll at some point.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, George, I'm jumping back in. So
all right, cool.
So let me know.
I got another 10 minutes.
No problem. Okay.
All right.
I'll get to the phones.
Let's get to shout out to producer CP in the background, man. Shout out to producer
CP in the background. The voice of God.
My man's like Zordon when it comes to the Power Rangers. Somehow you can just hear him as you're fighting out in action. Let's get to King Deej, man. King Deej. Haven't heard from you in a minute, my guy. Please unmute your mic, bro. What's happening?
Alex, what's happening? Can you hear me? Mic check.
Yes, sir.
Check.
You are loud and clear, man. This is your show. What's going on?
Man, this show is for the fans, by the fans, once and foremost, man. Hit that thumbs up button for your boys. I'm going to go the opposite side. I'm going to go with pure optimism. I know you guys are just talking about Mike Brown. I think Mike Brown shows you the creativity. Number one defense in Cleveland, yes, it was with LeBron James. But number one offense, like how you guys are just talking about in Sacramento. But I did come up here to talk more about free agency. And I know, like, Karis LeVert just went to Detroit. I know Atlanta's, like, flirting with Alexander and Nikhil Walker. But what I like so far from the free agency, everybody's going out west. So I know Knicks fans aren't thrilled with Clarkson and Westbrook, but who knows what's going to happen with the rest of this Western Conference. I mean, this Western Conference is, you got Denver trying to compete versus OKC. You got all these contending teams in the Eastern Conference losing players left and right. I still got a potential favorite, Alex, in my boy Luke Kennard. So I'm glad that, Rob Pelinka basically self-destructed the Lakers and the Houston Rockets both in the same breath, because I know the Houston Rockets were looking at Luke Kennard. I know Detroit got Karis LeVert. So let's see how this looks. But as far as today, I mean, hey, man, if this ain't the first rodeo, Knicks fans, just sit back, relax, and wait. Leon Rose doesn't really strike on day one. He usually strikes on day 2 and day 3, just looking at his 5-year timeline. But that's the person that I'm interested in the most. We need a shooter, man. I mean, we just talked about movement with Mike Brown's offense. We need a shooter. I'm all for bringing everybody back. If this is going to be the way we rock, bring everybody back. But we need a shooter. It seems like Clarkson is probably going to be a bigger campaign. But that's all I got, man. Shout out to everyone, man. I hope everyone's having a great Monday. Let's go Knicks, man. Shout out to CP. Shout out to Alex, man.
To King Deej, man. Big up yourself, King Deej. Look, man, it sounds like the Clarkson thing is gaining a lot more steam, and I'm with it. Bring him aboard. Look, this is the vet minimum contract. This is a guy who we did not know was going to be available for that number. Had we known that based on the free agency list that he was going to be on a list of free agents, I'd probably put him on my top 10 list. You know what I mean? Because it's the vet minimum. Look at the bags that these guys are getting. Karis LeVert is still getting bags. He might have gotten
$29 million for 2 years.
He might have got Malik Beasley money. He might have got Malik Beasley, buddy. 2 years, $29 million. So Karis LeVert is still out here getting bags. He's not even in vet minimum territory yet. So
look at Luke Kennard.
Luke
Cornett.
The unicornet is getting the bag. Well earned, well deserved, man.
Good for him.
Deserved
Good for
it.
him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good God.
Yeah. So with all that being said and all that's known, you got to take vet minimum contracts. You're taking a risk. And you're hoping it all works out. And like I said, out with Clarkson, hey, look, he's coming back to Fashion Avenue. He's into the fashion thing. He's coming to a winning environment, right? What did you know what? I'm gonna play this clip. I'm gonna play this clip. This is a worthwhile clip from our episode with Keith Smith. This is a good time to play that clip. Let me pull up this clip from Keith Smith in terms of what the criteria is for vet minimum guys when they're choosing a team. This is it from Keith Smith here. Salute to everybody in the chat. Hit the like button, hit the share button, subscribe to the channel. Here's Keith Smith. Here we go.
Good thing is, for the expensive teams that are dealing with apron issues like the Knicks, that means players should be available for minimum deals. And that's where then you can pick off these guys where you're going to be like, can't believe we got them on a minimum because they're available. And the nice thing for the Knicks is when players are a minimum player, every player agent I've ever talked to says there's three things. If it's determined we have to sign for the minimum somewhere, that's the best we're going to get. It is the team a winner? Is there minutes in an actual role to play? And what city is it? And then, are there minutes in a role? Yeah, there's absolutely bench minutes in a role, because if it was still Tibbs, you might be like, am I going there for 10 minutes a night?
Yeah.
Under the new coach, it's going to be more like, there's a 20-minute a night role for some of these guys. And that's where they'll be better positioned to pick off some good veteran minimum signings, I think, when we get to that point of free agency.
Yeah. So, that could be a situation here for Clarkson. Maybe he comes to New York. He's been losing in Utah for years on end. Rejuvenated. He's in a place where he wants to be. I'm sure he's got some people here. Like I said, he's into the fashion, whatever he's into, to be happy with this off-court life. Come off the bench for either Mike Brown and Taylor Jenkins, and Brown is gaining some steam right now. Maybe he gets his sixth man of the year role back. I'm more comfortable with Clarkson in that role than Brody, but Cole Anthony, man, I would love to bring Cole Anthony home. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Yeah,
the size is the only factor here with him and Deuce back there, but I'd love to bring Cole Anthony home, man.
Do you think there's anything to the notion that, because you can't play Josh Hart and Clarkson together?
Why not?
I mean, it's just a weird fit.
I don't think so.
I mean, yeah.
I don't
think so. Unless if you really buy into the almost 37% 3-point shooting he had last season, then maybe. But if he is really the guy who shot 32% for 3 seasons before that, I mean, that's rough.
Are you talking about Hart or Clarkson?
Clarkson.
Okay.
Clarkson.
Okay. Yeah.
Clarkson.
Yeah. Well, again, I think the personnel is going to matter, and who he is out there playing with is going to determine that. You know what I mean? So,
interesting that this is the first legit name that we're hearing for the Knicks. Yeah. I think this is just a first puzzle piece to something else. Just feeling like that.
Makes sense. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. We got over 2,000 people in here on the check-in. We got CP the Franchise. We got Alex Rotaros, the great George Esqueda, a.k.a. Into the Knicksverse. This is our NBA Free Agency Show 2025. Also, Knicks Free Agency Central. Call us up on the Knicks Fan TV Discord. You can call us up on the NBA Report Discord and let us know what you guys are thinking, man. Couple moves. It started off kind of quiet, and then things kind of picked up a bit. So it was going to be a lackluster class. We knew that going in, and still is. But, so far we do have some movement. So I'm not mad at it.
How about Clint Capella going back to the Houston Rockets where it all began?
Capella going back to H-Town. Okay.
Rockets are getting interested.
Yeah, the Rockets, man, they made some great moves this year.
Yeah.
Steven Adams and Clint Capella on the same team?
Rockets in the middle of an arms race right now, man. I'm not mad at it. They want to go head up with OKC. as a bona fide next best in the West. The KD acquisition, you bring in Dorian Finney-Smith. They got tough, man. You got Steven Adams there reuniting with KD. Capella going back. I like what Udoka and those guys are doing and building out that squad.
Ooh, what's going on with Milwaukee Bucks, man? We just got another report from Shams Charania. Brook Lopez has agreed to a 2-year deal worth $18 million and is going to the Clippers.
The Greek Freak losing one of his guys as Brook Lopez heads back home to Cali. Go pick up for the Clippers. You know, be behind Zubac, get some depth. He goes back home. Ooh, for Giannis.
And you see that Harden extended out there is
Harden extended.
So, Giannis, what are you doing, man? Is he going to Houston?
That's a
Giannis.
That's a strike. That's one
Everyone's
strike.
Going to Houston.
That's one strike against the Milwaukee Bucks. They did get Bobby Portis back, but they lose Kevin Porter. Where did Kevin Porter Jr. go again?
He signed, I think it was like a $12 million deal.
No, he's back with the Bucks.
He's back with the Bucks. Yeah.
Okay. Lose Lopez. Okay.
But hey, you still got Kuzma out there.
Trade him. Trade me now.
So Giannis is really going to stay out there with
bro. Well, all this he's going to wait and see what they do in the offseason. What are you thinking?
What are you waiting
they're
for,
really
man?
Gonna do, man? What do they think they're really going to do this offseason, man? So, yeah, Brook Lopez. But Lakers losing out on the center, yeah. Who's this in the chat, on the YouTube chat?
Don't worry, they're getting DeAndre, man.
Well, they are getting Ayton. They probably will likely get Ayton as far as according to Chris Haynes, getting Ayton.
What about that team? Think about that team. Ayton with Doncic, LeBron, and Reeves.
Well, you know, like I say with a lot of guys, man, if anybody's to get you right, it is LeBron. And now he's got Luka Doncic. Now for Cam Reddish, it didn't work out that well, but for DeAndre Ayton, this is your chance to reclaim your career, because right now it's been an absolute bust.
Man. Woof.
You know? Yeah. So to everybody in the chat, hit the like button, hit the share button, subscribe to the channel. Let's see who we have here. Let's load some people up on the Discord. Yeah, you guys were asking about the coaching update, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Asking about the coaching.
Is that why you got offline, man? You went behind the scenes because you got a little update? Is that what you're doing over there?
You got a call from Leon.
You know.
Taking phone calls.
I had to handle a couple of things. You know what I'm saying?
You used to be a guy who used to wait till after the show to do these things, man. Now you're doing it during the show.
That's right. That's right.
We're live.
Yeah, I had to handle some handles. You know, I had to really I had to get at your boy Shams. Did you hear Shams earlier today? Did you hear that, Al? Did you hear that, George? Well, you know, the Dawn Staley thing really chapped some people up for a multitude of reasons. You know, for a multitude of reasons. One of which was like, oh man, that's just this never happened, blah, blah, blah. You know, that people just still don't believe that KFTV, you know, has the requisite.
Oh, the doubters are back out again.
Oh, the doubters were out heavily. You understand what I'm saying? So that was that, and then people couldn't believe it, and you know, why would they be talking to Dawn Staley, this, that, and the third? I mean, look, man, I'm just the conductor here, Alex. As you know. Don't be mad at me. I'm just the conductor here, man. So, but did you see Shams on McAfee?
No, I didn't. What do you say, man?
Well, AJ Hawk asked him about it. AJ Hawk asked him about it, and hang on. So to everybody in the chat once again, let me just make sure I have all my ducks in a row here. Okay. Yeah. So here is what AJ Hawk on the Pat McAfee show asked Shams. And here we go.
Dawn Staley, the next head coach of the New York Knicks. Is that true?
That is not something that has come at my desk. The Knicks, to my knowledge,
What are the
still.
chances?
Don goes, I go.
Again, it's not something that has hit my desk as of yet. But listen, the Knicks are going through their process.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're talking to several candidates. Yeah. James Borrego Taylor Jenkins, Mike Brown, Mike Nori. Those are the known interviews so far that I have.
Okay, so that is what Shams had. Okay, Alan George, that is what Shams had. You know, so we'll skip forward to wait a minute, Talia Goodman, South Carolina athletic director, confirmed to On3 Sports that the New York Knicks did reach out to Dawn Staley about the opening. So we got the AD confirming. Okay? All right. We got some traction here, right? We got the AD confirming. Hang on. But wait, there's more. All right,
Billy Mays, you keep going.
Let me talk my talk. Here's our guy, Stephen Bondi of the New York Post. The Knicks touched base with South Carolina women's head coach Dawn Staley about the head coaching gig, as first reported by CP the Franchise.
There you go.
Shams, check your desk.
Wow.
Clear off the dust.
Sounds like
check the desk.
You know what that sounds like to me, CP?
Yeah.
Not only does it sound like the brand of KFTV is getting bigger, but it also sounds like to me that Shams is slacking over there, man. Not getting all the intel anymore. What's happened, man?
You know, you got these people that are programmed in the Matrix to say, oh, if it's not from Shams ice is colder. Not so fast. Not so fast. We've been putting y'all on. Check the track record. Check the track record out.
Man.
That's a big one.
You know what it is, CP?
Yeah.
Shams thought he could take a little rest because Woj left.
Yeah.
He doesn't know that KFTV is on the rise.
He didn't know. He thought the coast was clear with smooth sailing. Not so fast, buddy. Because on Saturday, I told y'all that Mike Brown and Taylor Jenkins were coming in for the second round interviews.
You know what Shams was probably doing? He was probably on a boat somewhere, sipping on some
rosé. I'm working.
CP's out here working, man.
Yeah. So he had to catch up. He caught up today, right? So he confirmed Mike Brown and second round interview for Mike Brown. He's catching up now. I'm working 24/7. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference. So Shams, check your desk, pal. All right? Now, it sounds like Mike Brown is gaining some steam here. It does sound like he's gaining some steam. I don't know where this is going to go. But it sounds like things are picking up with Mike Brown right now.
And you think within the next week and a half?
I was told that by Summer League they're trying to have something locked in. You know, we're already in the first day of free agency.
I was about to say. Go ahead.
Has Jenkins had the second interview?
That's what I was told, that both of those guys are going to be in for the second interview.
But we know Brown had his.
Right. Brown had his.
We don't know if Jenkins has had his yet.
That I'm not sure, but I was told that is the plan. But I am also told that Brown is gaining steam. So, you know, let's see. See what happens there.
Are you guys comfortable with the Knicks working free agency without a head coach?
Yeah, I am.
I mean, I would say, based on the caliber of players and the pool, I think so. I was saying it would be more important than the draft, which I do believe that, and maybe when these guys are sitting down, you know, Mike Brown is coming in this week. Hey, listen, these are the guys we on our radar. These are guys we're talking to. What do you think? Is there someone who you might be high on that we might want to look at, whether or not you are the coach? You know?
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about, basically bargain hunting.
Couple of guys.
Yeah, a couple of guys. We're not talking about starters.
Or a big trade.
You know, we're talking about additional pieces to the core that exists that, you know, that they felt themselves weren't fully maximized this season, like last season. So they want a coach that can unlock that team, and they're going to give them the pieces to help do that as well. So I don't think it's that crucial that we don't have a coach in line for that.
Yeah. What do you guys think in the chat? Are you concerned that the Knicks are making moves here in free agency without a coach, or what, man? George, how you looking on time? You gonna drop or?
Yeah, I got a few more minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, I can
all right, no problem. Just keep me posted. Harrison on the Discord. Harrison, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yep.
How you doing?
Good.
Good. Glad to hear it. So, I think it's funny that the first couple players are Jordan Clarkson and Russell Westbrook, because if Tibbs was still coach, Clarkson would play 8 minutes a game and Westbrook would play about 40 minutes a game. So polar opposites in terms of that. But
Yeah.
I do really like Clarkson. I like Clarkson because, a lot of the time, every year when a team is looking for bench help, there's Jordan Clarkson trade rumors. And a big hindrance to that has been his contract. People don't want to trade for him because of his contract and his efficiency. I think if you can get him on like a vet minimum deal, that's kind of a steal, especially because it was unexpected. And in terms of his efficiency, I mean, sometimes a player needs a change of scenery. He's been wasting away in Utah for a long time. I think he would really be more inspired to come and play his best in New York. But I just want to ask you guys real quick. I've been hearing some trade rumors involving, not necessarily rumors, but people are like, oh, they might trade Josh Hart. They might trade Deuce McBride. They might even trade Mitchell Robinson. Now, I'm on the camp that unless you're training for Giannis, you probably shouldn't give any of those guys up because they're really integral hustle players, amazing defenders. I just want to ask if you guys think there's a chance that next year, unless you trade for Giannis, the starting lineup would be Brunson, Mikhail, OG, Towns, and Mitch, with Hart and Deuce coming off the bench. Take care.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to the coach, man. It's up to the coach. But did he not have Towns in his starting five? Did I miss that?
He did have Towns in his starting five.
Oh, because he ended with OG and Mitch, right?
No, he ended with OG, Towns, and Mitch.
OG, Towns, and Mitch. Yeah, I think it's going to be up to the coach, but like I said, I don't see how you win with Towns as your starting five.
No.
I hope to be wrong.
Yeah.
I just don't see how you win.
Yeah. Well, we still have Mitch. I mean, Mitch. I think Mitch will be much better next season than what we saw towards the end of last season.
Yeah.
And in the playoffs, he'll have a full year
season
of recovery. I think he'll be back to that incredible Mitch that we were seeing like 2 years ago. So that's going to help a lot. And that is the job. That is literally the job for this coach. Figure out how to make this team work at its maximum ability. And Mitch is a key aspect to that. And sometimes, you go with the double big lineup. Sometimes you don't, depending on the situation. I think that's really the key right there. And Mike Brown actually could figure that out. But also you can say that about Jenkins as well. He's had double big lineups as well with Triple J, and when he had Steven Adams back then. That's when the Grizzlies were really good as well. So, and it's interesting that those are the two leading candidates.
Yeah, I think you need Mitch in that starting five, just defensively, man. I mean, that's the whole point of what the Timberwolves did with getting Rudy Gobert, and I don't see why you would now want to deviate from that, where they saw a lot of success in Minnesota with a true five. And in my opinion, I'll still say I think Mitch is better. The only reason that Mitch hasn't been up in these conversations with Rudy is because he's been injured more often than not. And I think if anything that you can live off of with what we saw this season is that the medical staff did a great job with keeping OG on the court. So give Mitch a full season with this medical staff, and then maybe a coach that, monitors his minutes a little bit. Not saying he needs serious time off, but I think all of that mixed this upcoming season, I think we could see something special again.
Yeah. People were mentioning something about Malik Monk. You guys see anything about Malik Monk?
Yeah, I saw that.
I didn't see anything.
Monk with Mike Brown. If we get Mike Brown, somebody was mentioning that. I think it was just in the chat. I'm not sure if that came from anything specific.
I don't see how.
The other thing to finish up on the Mitch thing, I mean, remember when he had the long stretch of minutes, he looked gassed a lot, and he even said it himself. And then he ends up playing 12 minutes straight in a couple of quarters in the playoffs. That guy, I mean, he's going to be able to last longer, be more impactful next season, and he's going to help make up for a lot of the deficiencies that Cat has. And then, bringing back this core together, having another full year together, the players themselves are going to create more synergy within each other. So I think I don't think we have a problem right now with playing Cat by himself. He's not going to play by himself. He's going to be paired with Mitch, and we got Hawkporty coming off the bench. We re-signed him. He'll play a similar type of role that Mitch plays. And Hawkporty even looks like he has a slightly better offensive game right now than Mitch does.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? I mean, it just seems like he has a better feel for the game offensively.
I agree.
So it's I think we have some options there.
Yeah.
We got some good size.
There you go.
We just need the right coach that can to figure that out.
Yeah. There we go, man. All right, salute to everybody in the chat once again. I don't see TM or anybody. If you see the Ian Begley stuff, somebody said that Ian Begley was tweeting something about Malik Monk. I don't see anything on his feed, so.
Oh, someone says fake account reported Monk and Brown.
Okay, it sounds like it. I'm telling you guys, be careful what you're looking at on the internet. This is just the beginning of the information war, man. You got to vet your sources. Check the names. Make sure that, if the person's name is an I, that it's not an L. Make sure all of that. An extra letter, all of it. And that's not just on Twitter. That's when you're reading your emails and all of that. Because before you know it, they got your wallet, your credit card, your ATM, everything. Be careful with the misinformation, man.
Absolutely.
Be careful.
I see the account now. It just popped up.
You see it?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Is it Ian Begley with an L?
It's Ian Begley with a 3 in the at.
There you go. There you go.
All right, guys.
Yes.
I got to roll. This has been awesome. Thanks for having me on. I think maybe tomorrow. Well, they can't sign Clarkson until he clears waivers.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe on Wednesday it'll happen. And who knows what'll happen by then. Who knows? We may even have a coach by then.
Hopefully, man. George, appreciate you, man.
All right. Thank you guys so much, man.
All right.
Alex, take care. Shout out to the chat. Thanks everyone for rolling up. Thanks for all the love. And I'll be watching. I'll be watching as I'm driving.
Yes,
Have
sir.
a good one, George.
Shout out to George, man. Be careful on the road. Shout out to our guy, George. Make sure you catch him on Into the Knicks verse. George will catch up, man. Appreciate you, man.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right.
All right.
All right, man. Shout out to you, Al. Salute. Oh, TM said open up the soundboard. Let's see what we got here. Okay, let's see. Hold on. Bang! Okay, here we go. All right, we dealing with some stuff here. Here we go. What do we got? Are you able to hear that? You should be.
No, I can't hear. I can't even hear it.
You can't hear anything?
Bruh. No. There it is.
You heard that, right?
Yeah, I heard it. Bruh.
TM.
We are the New York Knicks. Say go New York, go New York, go New York, go.
Okay. So TM, our chief moderating officer, has outfitted the Discord, my Discord, with a soundboard. So now, we could play different things, like when people send super chats, things of that nature. Okay. TM, let me make sure you heard all of that. And so we just, make sure we have it. Here we go.
This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the annual purge.
You heard that right, Al?
I did hear that one. Yo, TM stay working. TM stays working and keep creative, man. I love it.
Okay. All right. Here we go. We hooked up, man. All right. Appreciate you, TM. I'll mess around with that tonight and see what we dealing with here. Okay. All right, Al. Let me just fix the board here. In the meantime, who we got here on the Discord? Let me get him in here. Hold up. Dorkosaurus Rex. Dorkosaurus Rex on the Discord. Get unmute your mic. Do we have Dorkosaurus Rex in the building?
Oh.
Yo.
Hello. Hey. How we doing, guys?
Good, man. What's going on, man? What's your name? Where you calling in from, bro?
My name is Simon. I just wanted to First of all, shout outs to you, CP, for shutting down the LeBron insanity earlier.
Yeah.
Because that is driving me mad, bro. He is not going to be a Knick. It wouldn't be a good idea to wrap up $50 million of our salary in a 40-plus-year-old player when we just had the youngest team make the NBA Finals in 48 years.
That's right.
That's just really my point in a nutshell, is that youth itself is an asset in this league. We're seeing very young teams, the youngest team in 48 years, not only make the finals and win. Miles Turner had a quote here. He said, as far as the finals that he played in, he said, it's a new blueprint for the league, man. I think the years of super teams and stacking, it's not as effective as it once was. I think a lot of people are stuck in the old way of doing things, that like you get the big three, that's kind of a guarantee to make the finals and win. I'm saying that I think youth is the asset now. We already struggle versus young athletic teams. We are one of the slowest teams historically for the last 5 years.
Yep.
How does LeBron fix that? How does KD fix that? How does Giannis fix that? I don't see the way that it does. I think we should go more towards youth. I'm loving Johnny Bryant. That would be my pick. I'm wondering if some of these interviews are not perhaps for the assistant coach to him. That would be ideal for me, I think. But, long story short, I think people are just too caught up in the names and the star chase. We should make our own trend. We shouldn't chase another team's trend. We should make our own stars. We shouldn't chase another team's stars of yesteryear. It's a new NBA. We got to embrace it. That's what I got for you.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm definitely with you. Forget that LeBron stuff, Al. I've been saying 18 years we've been chasing that, man. I'm over it. I've been over it since 2007, man. Forget about it, and let that ship sail.
Yeah, it's not that I talked about it with George while you were off. It's that the contract itself and having to trade to go get him just doesn't make any sense for this team. And look, it's not that he's not a great player. I think to the caller's point, you got to think about youth. And we're not like what LeBron needs right now around him. We don't have that. You have talented players, but look at the guys that they try to put around him outside of Luka. It's guys that are quick, fast, will run up and down the court, play defense. Like, we don't have a stacked roster where you have those type of role players to surround him, right? So it just doesn't make sense. And I'm all fine with not getting LeBron James.
Yeah,
I will say the one that I do disagree with is Giannis, though. Giannis can still go up and down the court, man. That man can still fly. The only issue is just going to be a hell of a lot to get him here, and you're just once again depleting the assets. But to his point, if you look at this finals run, man, there was not a big three in there unless you want to consider J-Dub, Chet, and SGA. But even then, it's not. I don't even consider them like the traditional big three. Is like these guys just overpower you. If anything, what we saw from that series, it went 7, very competitive, and it's really showing that this league wants rosters that are thoughtfully built out, and you have depth to go compete. And I think that's where we're at with this NBA at this point.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got another deal in. Hang on. Let me test out one of my new sound effects. Okay. All right. The deal is in. You like that? You like that?
I do like that. I like the horse, man.
Or should we go with the sports then? Hang on. Okay. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, as we expected, getting the bag with the Atlanta Hawks. 4 years, $62 million for Nickeil Alexander-Walker. So that is 15. Nickeil gets 15 with the Hawks, plus a player option and a trade kicker. Shout out to Aaron Mintz, Austin Brown, CAA winning tonight. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, man, adding to the Hawks stable that already included Kristaps Porzingis in the offseason. You got Trae Young and the boys, Jalen Johnson. I like that pickup, man. I like that pickup a lot. I've been a big fan of his.
Hawks looking interesting, man. I mean, a lot of it comes down to health.
Yeah.
But you talk about Trae, Jalen Johnson, Kristaps Porzingis. You now get Nickeil Alexander-Walker on that team. That's an interesting team you got right there, man. Once again, it just comes down to health, though.
Yeah.
But Hawks are trying to do something. I think they like, not only are they trying to think about the future, and they're also trying to compete now. And I think they like the Knicks probably doing is like, hey, this East looks like it's going to be pretty open for us to gain some good experience and compete. So, and if anything, you don't need to have like these high overpowering, like powerful names on your roster to go compete either. So I think they're looking just the same way everyone else is right now. They're interesting, man.
I like them.
They're not fearful, but they're interesting. They're very interesting.
Well, I think outside of the Kristaps move, which really didn't cost them that much, it's a worthwhile gamble, and maybe they load management him all the way to the playoffs and make sure that he can, he can be there for them. These are good investments. You're investing in young talent. You have the former number 1 pick in Risa Shea. Jalen Johnson came onto the scene.
Dyson Daniels. I keep forgetting about Dyson Daniels on the team.
So they've improved defensively. They've gotten some good 3-point shooting. Keeping all their wings.
How much of this is also believing that Onyeka Okongwu is ready to take on like more of that role at the 5?
Yes, he is. I believe so. I believe so. I thought he did very well last year.
He did.
Yeah. I liked Okongwu a lot for them last year. He's ready. He's good to go.
Good thing my mom moved down to Atlanta, man. Now I got a reason to go down there, not only to hang out with her, but now to go to some cheap games.
Yeah, well, the Knicks-Hawks games are always a vibe when we go down there. So, that's a standard, and the competition will be better. Hey, Hawks did give the Knicks a run for their money last year as well. Dyson Daniels, Gordon Brunson, and Jalen Johnson was tough. They were tough, and now they get Alexander Walker, who's a good 3-and-D player. I like that pickup for them a lot. So the Hawks are not playing around. As you said, they see the East wide open, and they're there to take it. And Trey, he's always going to have to try to have the last laugh against the Knicks. So Knicks versus Hawks is going to be very good, very top billing. Let's see who the Knicks pick up. Nothing yet, all quiet on the Knicks front. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit the like button, hit the share button, subscribe to the channel. We've been going for 2 hours so far, man. So Luke Garza goes to the Celtics. 2 years, $5.5 million to the Celtics. So there goes Luke Garza on his way to Boston after they just lost the Unicornette. They lost the Unicorn as well. Boston looking to retool, man.
What do you think about Boston, man, for this upcoming year where you got rid of Drew? I know you get Anthony Simons in return.
Yeah.
You lose KP. You don't have Tatum for the year. It's now the Derek White and Jaylen Brown show entering the season. I still expect it to be a good team. I still expect it to be, even with those 2 guys, in the top 5. I still expect that to happen.
Yeah.
But
go ahead.
Where do you see them, like, what do you see for their future right now? Is it just like, are we just trying to stand pat, wait for Tatum, and then really go retool again next year? Or is it like this cap thing is really shapeshifted how we maneuver, and now we really got to think about how do we build moving forward?
Yeah, both. Cost of doing business, man. The second apron has gotten another victim. It's its first victim, really, and it's a Boston Celtics. And look, they got a championship out of it, but they paid for it. And going into the season, it was always kind of known that either Kristaps or Drew or both were going to be gone. But then you have it, they're a victim of their own success, where a guy like a Luke Cornett, who coming into the league was more of a vet minimum guy, worked his way all the way up to what he's getting now with the Spurs.
Insane.
And well deserved by him. So it's just they can't afford to keep a guy like that. So now, just like it is with most teams that were creeping around the apron, your draft strategy and your draft capital acquisition, you got to be very strategic. So let's see, let's see what Missoula does with a guy like a Garza. Can he get something out of him? Some of the younger guys like Jordan, what's the guy's name? Jordan, forget the kid's last name that they had on the bench.
What team?
Boston.
Jordan Walsh?
Yeah. Like some of those younger players, now is their time. And while Tatum is on the mend, this is a season where you can scrap your way to the playoffs. It's not likely that you're going to be anything formidable. Take your chance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Somebody says Kennard was signed already. Is that true?
I don't see anything popping up here yet. Oh, wait. Shams just did. Oh, no. Shams just updated saying Nickeil Alexander Walker. By the way, did you know that he's SGA's cousin?
Yeah, long time. Yeah. Yeah,
they couldn't talk about that enough during the postseason.
For sure.
Atlanta is sending a 2027 second-round pick via Cleveland and cash to Minnesota to acquire an AW.
Okay, no doubt.
4 years, $62 million.
No doubt. Okay. All right. So there that is. All right. So we'll run through, we'll recap some of the past deals before we wrap up today's show. Salute to everybody in the chat once again, man. Hit the like button, hit the share button, subscribe to the channel. Shout out to Ross Oten. He just copped some merch on KnicksFanTV.com. We are doing our 4th of July blowout sale, 30% off site-wide. Go to KnicksFanTV.com, click on the shop link, and get your merch today, man. You got your hats, your playoff hats, your Knicks Fan TV hats. What do we got? The blue ones here. We got the white ones back there, fresh for the summer. The Once a Nick, always a Nick t-shirts are always a good deal. We have our worst take shirts have been going off since we've been killing Stephen A. and those good people at ESPN. So you got your worst take stuff. What else you got? You got your Once a Nick, always a Nick mural. I've been getting stopped everywhere I go, man, when I wear this, man. You got your Once a Nick, always a Nick tee.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I gave you yours at
yes.
Slate, right? You got yours.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
You don't wear it, man. Why do you want to wear your shirt, man?
I wear it, man. First of all, I wear it around Boston. First of all, I got to make people know out here.
There you go.
What
Against all odds. Against all odds. So, site-wide, 30% off. We got the prints, 8x10 prints of the Once a Nick, always a Nick. We have the 18x24, the big joints, whatever you need, man. We ship fast. And everything is available in stock, man. So go ahead and get your merch today, 4th of July.
Oh, Tyus Jones.
Okay, what do we got here?
According to Shams, Tyus Jones has agreed to a 1-year, $7 million deal to the Orlando Magic. That's interesting.
That was a rumored deal. That was rumored interest.
Now they get a legit point guard with there.
Yeah, that was rumored deal. Rumored interest, and 1 year, 7. So Tyus Jones goes to the Magic. Great pickup by them. They needed point guard help. They needed point guard depth, even though Bane helps them to a certain degree. This is a good pickup. And for a guy like Tyus Jones, who didn't really have a market for himself last year, he gets another 1 year prove-it deal, but $7 million. So, again, a guy who people were intrigued by with the Knicks can't give him that 5.7 taxpayer, but he ends up getting way more than that anyway. So, Tyus Jones headed down to Orlando. Good pickup. It's a good pickup.
Well, would you even want Tyus on this team? I feel like he doesn't really like. I like his skill set. I like him as a player, but I don't think it's what the Knicks needed.
For a vet minimum, yeah, I'd take him.
Okay.
For the minimum, you know what I mean? Like, but again, whether it's him or Kennard, I wouldn't want the Knicks going into the second apron for those type of players. You know what I mean? Because I don't see that clear-cut separation between someone who they can get at the taxpayer or a vet minimum. I don't see that clear-cut separation. But for the minimum, I would have taken him.
I like him as a player. I just don't see that we have the second unit where, like, he would have helped Brunson, like, organize the offense, have Brunson off ball, like, 1,000%.
Yeah.
But I just don't see, like, to make him valuable, because, like, I'm thinking that if he's stepping on the court, Brunson's probably getting off the court. And so do you have enough guys on that second unit where you're like, all right, you get to be a true facilitator, go create shots, go create looks for everybody. I just feel like there's somebody that's missing out there to really make that second unit a little bit more dynamic. That's just my opinion on Tyus.
Yeah.
Although I do like him as a player.
I hear that. What do you guys think in the chat? Are you tight that the Knicks couldn't get Tyus Jones? Leave us a comment in the chat and let us know. Shout out to Big Daddy G, $10 super chat. Says, who we getting, man? Also, salute to the squad. Big Daddy G. He's on the Knicks Twitter. Knicks Fan TV team. He's ready to ball out. That might be our secret weapon. Nobody really knows about him. That might be our secret weapon.
We're not sharing any information about anybody.
We're not sharing no information about nobody. We're not sharing no information. No information. Radio silence. That was just a little preview. You know what I mean? We got a young gunner on the squad. He's ready. He's rearing to go. Okay. Shout out Mateus Andrade, a Brazilian super chat. What's their denomination again? Is it rupee? No, is that India? What's Brazil?
That's Indian.
Rubble? Let me not say no more before I sound crazy. Mateus says, salute from Brazil. Somebody wake up Leon. Leon is up, man. You just got to see what the...
Brazilian Real.
I was there. I was close. Jay Thompson, he says, it's a lack of a report on Bryant, a report for NYK. Yeah, it's been quiet, man. I have not heard much about Johnny since then. I think it is between Jenkins and Brown. And Brown is getting the leg up at this moment. Okay. Shout out to KJ, $10 super chat. Did you get that one out? He said, on Clarkson, says, dude's really saying no to Jordan Clarkson. We have little to no bench scoring. We have no scoring. Like, what exactly are you expecting? Like, let's be for real, bro. Man's a sixth man of the year candidate year after year. I'm with him. And for the vet minimum, at this point, things change, you know, and like in free agency pass, when you have like the mid-level exception, sometimes you're not thinking about Clarkson or even Brody. So,
you want some interesting information, CP?
Yeah,
I was doing a little research as I was here on, you know, as you're talking, and you know, Mike Brown joined the Sacramento Kings for the 2022-2023 season. Do you know when Malik Monk joined the Sacramento Kings? It was during the 2022-2023 season.
Okay.
Do you know what happened to Malik Monk that season?
Sixth man of the year.
Candidate for sixth man of the year. Top 5.
Yeah, but how are we getting him? Isn't he making like 15?
I'm not talking about Malik Monk, man. I'm saying this is what you can do for Jordan Clarkson.
Got you. I got you.
Come on, man.
I got you.
Clarkson, a former sixth man of the year.
Hey, yeah.
I'm just saying.
Hey, put him in a
keep
better
in mind, keep in mind, Malik Monk, even though he played with the Lakers before, this is a guy who was down in Charlotte, just a guy who was chucking, running and gunning.
Yeah.
You know, not a lot of system for him, not really a good place. I'm just saying.
Fair enough.
Mike Brown, you pair him maybe with Jordan Clarkson, new situation, winning team. Maybe Mike Brown is the guy to get him activated and look like his sixth man of the year self.
I'm with you. Did you read Jay Boogie super chat? Speedy recovery to the close of Jay Boogie. Had some surgery, so make sure everybody in the chat, make sure we big up Jay Boogie, man, and wish him the best of health as he goes on this journey. We got BLW out, Artman, formerly known as Steve, as well.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, copy. Okay, all right, cool. So yeah, let's just run through some of these picks, rapid fire, and get to it. Look, if the Knicks do make a splash, obviously we'll come back. If the Knicks do make a pickup, we'll definitely come back and talk about it, talk through it as a family, as we always do. Okay, so running through these picks once again. So to everybody on Bleacher Report, NBA Report as well. Tyus Jones to the Orlando Magic. What do you guys think? Rate that deal in the chat. 1 year, $7 million. I like that for them. I like this Nickeil Alexander-Walker to the Hawks, man. 4 years, $62 million. That was a rumored interest for a long time since they made the trade for Kristaps, and they had a trade exception as well. Luke Garza to the Celtics, okay? Brook Lopez, splash to the Clippers. What does that mean for the Milwaukee Bucks? But I think good pickup for the Clippers, Al, and getting a backup center for Zubats. It's a good pickup. I'm not mad at it.
Could you even run a slight double big because he's a three-point shooter and Zubac played out low?
You'd be running in the mud, but sure, I guess.
Can you imagine that one?
Right.
But yeah, Ty Lue would probably be the guy to figure out how to make that optimal.
Yeah. How about Karis LeVert, man? Still getting that paper. Man. 2 years, $29 million for Karis LeVert with the Detroit Pistons.
Erratic scoring is still valued in the NBA.
Yeah. He calling Malik Beasley, thanks for all that shimmying and all that you was doing.
Have you seen the videos? Have you seen the videos just circling around Twitter where people are like, wait a minute, Malik Beasley being called for this, and then like go back and look at games like, wait a minute.
People started going through the tape with the tinfoil koofies on. I said, oh man, he is down badly right now.
They even had the highlight where he fumbled the ball against the Knicks, man, in Game 6. They're like, oh, wait.
Yeah. All that shimmying just to get Karis LeVert your money.
Man.
That is nasty work.
That is nasty work.
What a cold business, ladies and
Dude,
gentlemen.
and he was like in the 6th man of the year running, and it's like, all right, man, you know what? We can't trust you. Get out of here.
Holy moly. What a fumble. But hey, congratulations to Karis LeVert. You just came up, and your agent. Okay, Clint Capella going back home to the Rockets. 3 years, $21 million. Okay, so Clint Capella will be there.
I just had to think about this, man. Hold on 1 second. They really paying 3 centers down there?
It's interesting. Well, it's Sengun's still on his rookie deal.
Still, man, you still got. I mean, you gotta play these guys. You know what I mean? You're not just signing Clint Capella that contract to be like, hey, man, you get to chill on the bench, man, do whatever you want.
Yeah,
you know.
But Adams was ferocious for them.
That's what I'm saying. He's got to play, and then you got to say like these guys got to play, man.
Interesting.
Like, where are you putting everybody?
Yeah. Well,
like,
Capella doesn't necessarily have to play. You know.
You're still paying them that money, though. I'm not saying
it's true. That is true.
It's not a small bag, bro. We're not talking about, hey, you go get like, what, 28 mil?
Well, look, you know, like with these type of deals, hey, you never know when you might need that salary to flip, to trade.
Is true.
You know,
this is true.
So you just never know. We might be looking at it by next year, and you're like, oh, Clint Capella, the extra salary they needed to go get XYZ All-Star. Who knows?
Ooh, JD's in the chat. Shout out to our guy, JD, man.
Shout out to JD.
JD said, you want a quick laugh? Go pull up Sergeant's sources.
Oh, God. I don't want to do that. Do we really need to do that? Let's get through Shams. Let's be serious for a second. Let's be serious. Luke Cornett, the Unicornet, cashing out $10 million per to go team up with Wemby down in the Alamo. Congratulations to Luke Cornett. I like that pickup for him personally. And hey, Spurs are trying to make some moves here. Will it end up in a Giannis trade? Who knows? Kevon Looney. This was interesting. Goes to New Orleans, who a lot of people are questioning what the hell they're doing down there. And Kevon Looney said, hey, let me go get some paper real quick, because maybe Golden State wasn't going to offer him this. 2 years, 16. So Kevon Looney gets $8 million a year. Hey, good for you.
What are they doing for a center?
Who knows? They got Yves Missy there, but hey, you got Looney there to back him up. And they can all go out to eat with Zion.
Hey, don't forget DeJounte Murray's down there. You now got the series captain, Jordan Poole.
Oh, that's right. A mishmash of players down there in New Orleans. Good luck, Joe Dumas. Okay. D'Lo goes to Dallas. 2 years, $13 million. With Kyrie on the mend. Yeah, it's a good pickup for Dallas. You know, good pickup for D'Lo. We go down there and chuck. He's got Cooper Flag, AD.
Can't wait for that. I can't wait for that midseason trade where they're like, wait a minute, why are you putting on more shots than? wait, hold on, more than AD, more than Cooper Flag. Hold on 1 second.
2 years. He's got a player option the second season. All right, so 2 years for D'Lo to prove it. See what's going on. Okay, I said that about Looney. Bruce Brown, welcome back to Denver. Man, he was down bad. He grew a terrible mustache. Went to Indiana. He was rocking the crazy cowboy hats. Went to Toronto on a crazy bag. Didn't even remember him playing a minute. Hopefully he does something better back in Denver. He goes back home with the Joker and Jamal Murray. And this is for, how much is this? I didn't see where what the number was for Bruce Brown. Okay. Yeah, I didn't see the number. Did you see the number for Bruce Brown?
No, I didn't see the number either.
All right. Well, welcome back, Bruce Brown. Whatever you're making, you earned it. Okay. Kevin Porter Jr. back with the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm sure Giannis is happy about that. He did play well. He did play well with the Bucks. Give him credit. Ty Jerome, hey, after Lonzo got shipped out to Cleveland for Okoro and the Cavs re-signed Sam Merrill, Ty Jerome was out of there, and after a great regular season and a lackluster postseason, he ends up with close to about $9 million with the Memphis Grizzlies. This was about the number that I believe Keith Smith had. It was going to be more than a taxpayer mid-level and just below the mid-level. So Sam Merrill, Ty Jerome, 3 years, $28 million for Memphis. Hey, he's had a injury-plagued career.
Yep.
Go get the biggest bag you can get.
I like what Memphis is doing, man.
Yeah.
I do like what they're doing. I feel like it's just look. You lose Desmond Bane. They ran him with the second unit. I mean, you still got you just got to figure out how to get those shots and who can do it since you don't have him anymore.
Yeah.
And while Ja's off the floor, and he could do that for you.
Yeah.
But you still got to figure it out. It's still not enough, but you got to figure it out.
Yes. And in the one blockbuster trade, Denver finally trades Michael Porter Jr. Not just trade Michael Porter Jr., but a 2032 first-round pick to the Nets for Cam Johnson. I do like this.
What does it say to you?
Yeah.
What does it say to you that they had to trade a first-round pick
with
Michael Porter Jr. to get Cam Johnson?
I got to do some more research on that. That part was interesting. Very interesting. I do think Cam Johnson is going to be a great fit for them. Much more consistent and has a much better competitive motor than Michael Porter Jr. So I do like that. He's much more of a leader as well. But the first round pick part is interesting. I've got to look at some more research on that. Did Keith Smith, any of those cap guys, talk about that? What the incentive might have been for the first round pick?
I haven't seen that pop up yet. I can do a quick search just to check, but just to let you know, they traded that 2032 first round pick, and now it just brings them down to 5 picks.
Yeah.
All right. So they got 26, 28, 30, 31. They don't have 32, but they only got 4 first rounders between 26 to 31, I mean.
Yeah.
So this is why it's even more interesting is that you can't trade back-to-back years, so you can't trade that 31 now. That's locked. You don't have 33 to trade.
Okay,
it kind of puts you in a precarious situation right now.
Check Marks. Let's see what Bobby has to say. See what our guy Bobby Marks has to say about this. Okay, hang tight. I'm sure he commented on everything. Bobby's been on the money. He's not missing. 2032 unprotected first. Denver is sending to Brooklyn was their lone first available. Contracts going out to Brooklyn. Porter, 38 mil, 40 mil, and he's unrestricted. Cam Johnson, 21 and 23. Okay.
Here we go.
Yeah.
I found the Keith Smith tweet. It says financial impact of the Brooklyn-Denver trade. Nets with 16.6 cap space remaining, so they're flexible pending Daron Sharp and Zaire Williams re-signings. And then Nuggets are now 13.6 under the first apron, plus Nuggets in range to use most for a non-taxpayer MLE, and they did that obviously to go get Bruce Brown.
Gotcha.
But not sure why they traded the first. That's still the...
Well, probably to take on the money. Right? To take that money on so that they could get that savings. Because if you look at Porter, he's damn near at 80 mil for the 2 years. Cam Johnson's only 40 mil for the 2 years.
But but I guess I know watching them both play, like Cam Johnson, as you mentioned, I agree that he's the more consistent player. He had really good numbers this year, shot 39% from downtown, averaging about 19 points on the Nets. Granted, it is the Nets, so who else is taking shots on that team? But couldn't you say that Michael Porter Jr., even though he has been underwhelming in the postseason for the most part, even though the numbers look decent, very erratic, especially even when they won the championship. But couldn't you say, hey, put him in a different situation where he's not next to Murray and Jokic and not considered a third and on some nights even a fourth option, depending on how Eric Gordon's going? Maybe he can be better. So you could say, why do we even need to trade the first rounder? He could be that guy that Brooklyn could use in this situation.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's that competitive edge, man. He just doesn't. He's not a dog. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. No, I look, man. I just said he's very erratic in the postseason.
Erratic, yeah,
dude. And it's with all the hype and the cachet and how much they paid him. And he was on an upward trajectory too, man. I feel like once he got paid, he was like, I'm good, man.
He was.
Don't need to work. And it's hilarious that he now goes out to Brooklyn to go join Ben Simmons.
Rehab University.
Oh man, that team is so interesting. And now you got a bunch of rookies who, looking for some leadership out there.
Yeah, there you go.
Damn.
Good luck to you. Trey Jones, 3-year, 24 with the Chicago Bulls. Okay. Don't know what they're doing over there, but all right. I like this Jake LaRavia deal with the Lakers, man. 2 years, $12 million. He got the same amount that he could have made with the Sacramento Kings. A guy who finished the year strong, young talent with some upside that could play alongside Luka and LeBron James. And, hey, after the Lakers lost Dorian Finney-Smith, which was a tremendous L, take a swing on some upside here. Obviously, he doesn't have the same toughness as Finney-Smith, but a young player that can build with the Lakers in terms of their future plans. So I like that pickup. We'll see what our guy Trevor Lane has to say about that one tomorrow. Cole Anthony probably going to get bought out by the Grizzlies. We'll see where he lands. Cam Spencer, nobody cares.
Oh, that's right. Ben Simmons is out on the Clippers. You're
He's
right.
on the Clippers. He's on the Clippers.
He's on the Clippers. I'm laughing at the wrong. Damn.
It's all right, man.
I forgot about that trade.
We can't fault you for not tracking Ben Simmons, man. It's all right. Dorian Finney-Smith, big one. He chose to go to the Rockets, even though the Lakers could have offered him the same amount, even more. Goes to the Rockets. Big pickup there by Houston. I like this pickup a lot, man. 4 years, $53 million. Like the pickup, man. Okay. Paul Reed. Okay, where's he going? Back to the Pistons. Okay. No commentary needed there. And Jaren Jackson Jr. starts the day off. 5 years, $240. How'd you like that one there, Al?
I'm sorry, who are you
Jaren,
talking about?
Triple J.
Triple J. I liked it, man. I like it for them. I'm sorry, I just got something from Chris Haynes that just popped through.
Okay, what'd he say?
He says Phoenix Suns and franchise player Devin Booker are in talks on a contract extension.
Highest paid.
Booker is eligible for a 2-year, $150 million max extension. But to answer your question about Triple J, I like it, man. He's a valuable player for them. He's a guy who continues to add to his game. And I think for them, you can't just, now that you got rid of Bane, and that was the bigger thing, right? You had Bane's contract, who they paid, I forget, was it last year or the year before? Forget when they paid Bane.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like, can you really pay Ja, Bane, and Triple J and believe that you're going to go far with this roster? And they didn't believe that, and that's why they traded Desmond Bane and kept Triple J and Ja, and they wanted to just retool somewhere else. So I like the move for them, man. You can't just you don't want to get to that position with players that have developed for you as a franchise and then get them in position where they could become a free agent, or they're just, they sour on the franchise because you haven't treated them right. So I think it's a good move by Memphis, considering how hard it is to get free agents out there. No one was really ready to go to Memphis.
It's true.
So I think it's a smart move by them.
It's true. You got to think of it that way as well. Ain't nobody else coming there. And he's a good player. He's an all-star.
He is a good player.
The lack of rebounding, like Andre Bryant says in the chat, that bothers me with a player like that. There's just something about him that lacks that toughness. But look, still a good player, still a good offensive threat, good shot blocker, excellent shot blocker, obviously, probably the best in the game. So, good pickup. Let's see if what they can build around him and Ja Morant.
I'm sorry, I'm just so thrown off. Why, Devin Booker? What are you doing, man? What are the Suns doing?
I'm lost. I mean, clearly, go get the bag, right? Highest paid in the league, go get the bag. But he's on the road to nowhere, fam.
Dude, so you literally okay with staying with the team that is, you were on a terrible Suns team, got good, were hot for a second, and now you're going back to a terrible Suns team.
Yeah.
And you're okay to stay there.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't have to do an extension. He would easily get an extension anywhere. But I don't know, man. I feel like if I'm the Phoenix Suns, you just got to move on at this point.
Yeah, I'm lost. But, hey, get your money, man. Get your money. Let's see. Javier Montalvo says, my Gary Trent Jr. dream is still alive. Okay. All right, Gary Trent Jr. Shout out to Stephen R's $20 super chat says, would you trade for Kobe White as a backup point guard or scorer off the bench if Cal doesn't want to sign the extension? Cal. Do a straight up swap. Okay.
Cal Bridges.
With picks, because Bulls picks would be valuable, then trade Mitch to the Lakers for a good bench piece. But then who's your starting five? Who was you starting 5? You gonna put Kobe White and Brunson in there to starting 5? I'm not doing that.
No, that's good for minutes throughout the game. That's not good as a starting unit.
It's not a good starting unit.
Yeah.
What's Kobe's contract?
I think he's average. I think he has like somewhere between 12 to 14 million.
Yeah, Kobe White. Yeah. I don't think the Knicks are gonna trade Mikal Bridges, man.
I don't. I'm going to keep going back to this. This team was just in an Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
And
13 million.
If you believe that the coach was not the right one to take this team to essentially take this team to the finals and to really, to really show off their strengths, right, throughout the regular season, then why are you looking to make wholesale changes?
Right.
I just don't. I don't get that. So
yeah.
If you didn't believe that this was the roster, then you still keep the head coach and figure out what the roster is.
That's right. Ray Val, $5 Super Chat says, can we please talk about how you can get 2 good players if you trade Josh Hart? You could have signed a Dorian Finney-Smith and a BB with Hart. Who's BB? BB with Hart. With Hart money and BB with Hart money. He isn't better than NAWDM. Listen, you know what it is? And listen, look, we appreciate all the donations, all the super chats, but how it works on YouTube, Al, is that with each level of donation, you get a certain amount of characters to type. So my man tried to go Morse code with it to get his $5 worth. Well, my man, I don't understand what you're saying. My man said BB, NAW, NAACP. I don't know. Okay, Bruce Brown. Okay. All right.
Bruce Brown.
Okay. Maybe. Okay. Is it Bruce Brown?
Yes, that is definitely Bruce Brown.
He says you could have signed a DFS and a BB, a Dorian Finney-Smith and a Bruce Brown with Hart money.
He said that he isn't better than Nickeil Alexander-Walker or Dorian Finney-Smith. He's overpaid.
He's overpaid. I mean, what's Hart making right now? $13 million? What's he making right now? 17, 16? What's Hart getting right now?
Josh Hart signed a 4-year, $81 million contract. So he's getting about 20 a year.
That's fair. Nothing you could do about it now, but that's fair.
I mean, let's also keep in mind that when he was signed, it was before the new CBA. So,
right.
But for $20 million, could you go get Bruce Brown and Dorian Finney-Smith? Sure.
Yeah.
Could have. I still think the intangibles that he offers you, is stuff that you still say, hey, this is why you give him the slight overpay, man.
Triple doubles, Hart.
Triple doubles. Is he the greatest defender? No, but he gives you a lot of effort.
Yeah,
you can attack out in transition. I mean, I understand why people are sour on Josh Hart right now. Is because you saw the lack of shooting in the postseason. Wasn't really attacking out in transition.
Could have been
in the postseason either.
Could have been the knee.
Yeah, and look, it wasn't great for him. There are some games where he was like, "Oh, okay, that's Josh," and other games that weren't. And so I know that's what people are really thinking about right now.
Yeah.
But if he was like what he was when he was first here and the second season, we wouldn't be having this conversation
at all. Shout out Crypto Sky, $5 super chat says Michael Porter Jr. to Brooklyn. Man, did we miss on the 2018 draft? Dante, SGA, Sexton, Carter Jr., Knox Hive.
I'm not including Michael Porter Jr. in that. That man had a bad back coming out of college.
He had a bad back. I didn't want him.
We were not in position to take a risk
after Porzingis went down with the ACL.
Do you know how? You want to talk about same old Knicks in the newspaper? I could see it right now.
Yeah,
Berman has on the beat. Same old Knicks. Knicks took an injury-prone player from college with back issues. Hasn't played all season. I mean, he didn't even play year one. Let's keep that in mind.
Yeah,
because he had
the backiotomy, man. It's rough. Pops the Legend $5 super chat says maybe the Knicks can sign the free agent to be the next Knicks coach. Shout out to Pops. Okay, is that it on the free agent deal? Santi Aldama goes back to Memphis. Good job by him. 3 years, 52.5. And I think that's pretty much it. You know, Sam's catching up on the Mike Brown stuff. We already addressed that. Okay.
Man, slow to report in news. Is that his full-time job?
Hey, check your desk. Shams, check your desk, man. Okay. All right, man. Great show, Al. I got to eat some dinner, man, and catch up on part 2 of the night. Great job, man. We had an action-packed show. Started off slow, but we got into the groove. The team started making moves. Salute to everybody watching on the NBA Report, everybody on Bleacher Report, everybody on Facebook. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe, man. Retweet the show if you enjoyed today's show. Remember that the show's available in audio podcast format, so you can catch it on all major podcast platforms. Also, remember to check us out, KnicksFanTV.com or shop.KnicksFanTV.com. 30% off site-wide for our 4th of July sale. And once the Knicks make a move, or any other moves for that matter, we will be on these platforms, whether it's Knicks Fan TV or the NBA Report, at a moment's notice. We go live and talk about it as a family, man. So you just hit us up on the Discord and let us know what you guys think, man. Al, any closing words? Anything?
Hopefully we have a coach before Summer League.
Hopefully, man.
But hey, man, I would tell people, look, it is what it is. It's bargain barrel hunting for these guys off the bench. I'm cool with Jordan Clarkson. I think he gives this bench a much-needed scoring punch. Don't sleep on guys who need a new scenery. Don't sleep on that.
Yeah. There you go, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we out of here. Great show, TM. Great show, Gamba. Great show, all the mods as well, man. We out of here. Peace.